Yo, what up, dude? Morning, folks. Back from a long weekend. Yeah, what's up with that, dude? It felt like this weekend just dragged. I don't know, man. Maybe it was the weather. That's probably what it was. It was probably just the weather. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another stream today. We're just going to kick back and shoot the breeze, man. Sorry about that. I felt like I had a hair on my face. That was weird. Let me take you on a trip. A supersonic ship. Is that little Einsteins, bro? What is that? What's up, Scooter? Badger. Dude, if I wanted to push your buttons, man, you know, I'd say something like, why have soft-boiled eggs? Why not just poach your eggs in your noodles, man? What's up with that, dude? Got fumbles in the house as well. Thank you all so much for being a part of today's broadcast. We're just going to slightly kind of graze over each From Software game. You know, I've played most of them. And, you know, there's some talking points. So we're kind of just going to kick back and just, you know, have a good old time, man. Just doing whatever, I guess. I don't know. See, nothing really happened. Nothing too serious. Supersonic ship by the Kinks. I don't even know who that is, bro. Hold on. I got to unpack this music, man. Hold on. That's one thing I didn't do. Yeah, that works for now. By the Kinks, huh? I don't know who that is, bro. Never heard of them. Sounds kinky. I decided to have a little breakfast and some coffee this morning. Nothing too special, man. Just some toast and with some jelly. 1972. It was a good year, man. Yeah. That's when Austin Powers was doing his thing, man. Oh, I met you only, baby. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Ran a comb through my hair, man. You know, kind of cleaned myself up a little bit. Feeling good this morning, man. It's a good Monday, brother. Got the day off. It's feeling pretty good, man. I was doing, I guess because I was watching that one dude play freaking Dark Souls the other day. And I've watched a couple of people stream Sekiro. I'm starting to get like all these in my feed. I'm starting to get all like these videos of Dark Souls, man, and people streaming Souls games, and there's some unequipped individuals out there, I guess is the best way I could say it. Why are we buffering, bro? Is Spectrum not playing nice with me today? What are you up to this morning, Badger? No good, I'm sure, man. You out working on the truck? It's been a couple of days, man. About a week, huh? Since you've messed with it? Waiting for the weather to clear up, I'm sure, right? The reason I wanted to do toast, man, is because I'm doing an experiment. I think that cheap ass toast from the store messes my stomach up, bro. Well, I don't know, bro. It's not like you broadcast when you go and work on the truck. Or maybe you do and I just don't catch it. Yeah, I think this cost efficient, is that what you would say? This cheap ass bread that we get at the store, because it's the cheapest, right? I mean, you're just gonna make freaking bologna sandwiches with it. I don't think my stomach likes it, bro. And the reason I say that is because the other night Fumbles made dinner, and it should not have affected me at all. But the whole night, dude, I was just, and I was gassy too, bro. Not like farting or anything, but like I was burping, and I was like, "What the fuck's making me burp, dog? Like what the fuck?" I was like, you know what? The only other thing that I had was just like a bologna sandwich. A couple of hours before dinner, you know, because I woke up late. There was no stream that day, so I try to like sleep in, just to catch up on sleep and stuff when I don't have stream. So I woke up late, and I'm like, I don't want to like noodles and all this, you know, so I just fixed a quick sandwich. And like I said, dinner shouldn't have bothered me as much as it did, you know. It should have been fine, but I think it's the bread, dude. I think it's the bread. So this is an experiment, man. It's just toasted bread, no butter, no nothing, just bread and jelly. That's all. Eating at work? Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Full on burrito, dude. Try going into my Discord from time to time. You might have seen the pictures. Seen the picture. I was like, why did you pluralize pictures? And I was like, because I can't freaking read, bro. Yeah, that happens with age, man. Tigre's only like 22 years old, bro. Yeah, see, that's the convenient thing, bro. Everyone always blames gluten. It's gluten. I can't have gluten. No, there's like hydrogenated oils and freaking folic acids and stuff that they like. That doesn't belong in bread, bro. Just make the damn bread. Why is it gotta be all bleached and shit? Shelf life, my ass, bro. If you don't eat your bread in a normal time, and you know, like in a normal, it takes you longer than a week to finish a loaf of bread, bro. Maybe think about making your own bread at home. Like, save a little money. Flour tortillas are superior than bread? You think so? That's an interesting take. Oh, whatever. Well, since you smoked weed? Yeah, right, bro. I bet you've never toked up in your life. Why does it always do that? I remember my first bowl. Got a bunch of new subscribers in, folks. Thank you all so much for subscribing to my channel, man. My channel members, man. I really appreciate y'all showing me support. You guys are really pulling through for the channels. And I know I've said it before, but to all my lurkers, man, you guys are really pulling it in on that watch time. Honestly, dude, when I took that 2-week hiatus, I honestly thought that we were going to lose channel membership, man, because my watch hours dropped to almost nothing. But we're still here, man. Still going strong. Yeah, it's pretty much what we get, bro. It's white bread. Again, because you're just going to make a bologna sandwich, you know? Ham sandwich. You're gonna make sandwiches out of it, you know. The most, maybe some French toast. You know, it's not a big deal. It's like whatever. But now that I'm getting older, man, you know, my stomach's getting more sensitive to things that wouldn't have bothered me before when I was younger. And it's the whole experiment. Just 2 slices of bread. See what happens. If by the end of the stream I'm feeling like crap, my stomach feels all messed up, bro, I can't eat this bread, bro, you know? So, gotta figure it out, man. It's not cool. You think you're gonna eat a light lunch, you know? Slap a bologna sandwich together and have some chetos? Turns out being the rest of your day is just screwed, bro. I hate it. But yeah, actually, like for a while, just start the stream and have like a full breakfast, man. Eat oatmeal or whatever. Sit here and chit chat for like 20-30 minutes while I eat. And then we'll get down to business, man. But today it's just a just chatting stream, man. I said I've been wanting to do one for a while. It's been a while since we just sat here and chit chatted. I wrote down some bullet points for each game, just real quick to keep myself on topic. Although I found myself coming up short when trying to write out bullet points for Dark Souls 3. Dude, Dark Souls 3 was such a good game, man. It kind of felt like they took the combination of Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 and kind of like had this like super baby, and then they named it Dark Souls 3, bro. It was a good game. That's why I kind of like I kind of fell behind on my bullet points on Dark Souls 3 because I was really trying to think hard. I came up with all the bullet points I needed for Dark Souls 1 and 2 because I remember those games very well. But Dark Souls 3, man, it's hard. It's hard to pick that game apart, man. It's a good game, dude. Even the freaking DLC was good, man. Jesus. Oh no, dude. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's heavy, dude. That's horrible, man. As you know, we have Flip, Lily, and Pepper. Well, we got Flip, and she was fixed. Lily, we never got her fixed, and Pepper, we still need to get her fixed. She just barely turned 1, you know, so she's still at that age where we can go get her fixed. And that's the plan, is we are going to get her fixed, man, because it helps a lot. Poor dogs suffer through that shit, you know. But Lily, man, we at one point we took in what was it, some kind of terrier, bro. He was much bigger than Lily, male, and he got a hold of her in the backyard, bro, and a couple months later, boom, puppies, they all died. She had 3 of them, and they all died, bro. And it was like, bro, that's kind of sad. Well, it happened again, and I think that time it was 2 puppies, because Lily's small, bro. She's really little. It was 2 puppies. The one of the puppies it didn't survive the birth. The other puppy, it survived the birth, But see, Lily, she didn't want anything to do with him, bro. Like, her motherly instinct didn't kick in, which I thought was really weird, She was always trying to like lay on top of him and stuff, and like I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's Lily, bro. Like, her elevator doesn't go all the way to the top, bro. You can see that if you spend like 5 minutes with her, dude. Her attention span is shorter than mine, bro. Like, it's bad. She's really bad. Anyways, yeah, Fumbles was like working at the time, so it was just me and the kids and stuff, and we went to PetSmart and got little tiny baby feeding bottles and stuff to keep the baby alive and feed it every like 3 hours, dude. And it had a couple of bowel movements. I think it lasted like 2 days, bro, and then it passed, and that was rough, dude. That was really rough because Lily didn't want to like warm up to it, bro. We tried to give her baby, like, hey, here's your baby, lick the baby, clean the baby. No, she didn't want anything to do with that baby, dude. And it was rough, man. So my heart goes out to you, bro. I know how it feels, man. It's tough, dude. It's tough, man. Yeah. Just thinking about that little puppy, dude. Bumbles was at work, and it was like, do I call her or do I text her? Like, how do I break the news? Like, I don't. First of all, I feel bad because I know it's gonna upset her if I let her know that the puppy passed. But at the same time, she was like checking in, like, how is he doing? How's the baby doing? And we kind of had a feeling that it was gonna die, bro. And when it happened, it broke me, dude. Yeah, it was rough, man. That was rough. That, and then when we lost our bearded dragon, dude, that was another rough one too, bro. Because she had been getting sick for a while, bro. She'd been like, her color was off. You know what I mean? And it was like, fuck, man, we need to take her to the doctor, but like, we don't have the money to. And like, not only that, but like, there's like a waiting list, dude. Like, there was only one at the time. There was only like one vet that would be able to treat a bearded dragon, and it was like the waiting list it was like 3-month waiting list, bro, to get into this freaking vet. And it's like, this lizard's sick now. Like, what are we gonna do? Coming up with the money might have been one thing. I'm sure we'd have been able to figure it out, but it's not like you can go and just like force your way into the doctor's office. Like, you need to see this animal right now, or I'm gonna go carry it in this bitch. I don't know. Oh, my phone. That's what it was. It's like, what am I setting my cigarette down on? Stupid shit. That PlayStation 5 controller should be done charging. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's tough, brother. That's tough. Jesus. This happened over the weekend, man. Yeah, I need a mama. We don't have one. I need a foster mom. Yeah. That's tough, bro. You see them all helpless and defenseless and shit, and you're just like, oh, I'll take care of you, and then that's harsh, bro. Dude, you know what my son asked me yesterday? I don't even know how the hell this question formulated in his head, though. He goes, would you ever get a toucan? I'm like, what? Like the bird? He must have seen something on YouTube or the internet or something, bro. Yeah, little dude goes, hey, Dad, would you get a toucan? I'm like, probably not. That would be an expensive bird, dude. An exotic bird like that, bro, would probably cost you like, Jesus, man, I don't even want to know, man. Gotta be like, definitely more than $1,000, dude. Because at one point, Fumbles and I started looking into getting a parrot. Because they're crazy, man. And they talk. You can like teach them to talk and shit. Like, it would be cool, right? Like $1,200 for a parrot, bro. So that's a parrot, man. Could you imagine a toucan? Like, you'd probably have to get like a special license, dude. Oh, I need to turn my ringer off. Like a special license. So you got to take into account, like, all right, I got to get this special license to own this bird. The state's probably going to tax you out the ass just to get that license. And then on top of that, you still need to buy the bird, dude. Like, get it transported, or, like, at least in my area, let's say I wanted to pull the trigger on getting a toucan, right? There's nowhere here where I live that they have an exotic animal like that, bro. So it'd have to be shipped in. And just the fees on shipping a live animal like that, bro, that's not even the cost of the freaking bird, bro. And then you have to get it a big ass cage, like something that you would put a parrot in or something, maybe even bigger, dude, because a toucan is way bigger than a freaking parrot. I was like, I told my son, I was like, no way would I ever get a toucan. Maybe a cockatiel, or maybe a parrot. But see, my problem with birds, dude, is they're loud, man. That's just the way they are. That's the way they communicate, man. They scream at each other, We had when I was working at the kennel, the dog kennel, we had this client that brought her bird in, and she had it in this. It was a cockatiel, and it was this tiny little. It couldn't have been any bigger than a shoebox, bro. It was this small little cage, and this poor bird, man. She was only feeding it those like treats that you give them. They're all held together with, it's like on a stick, and it's all held together with like honey or whatever, and you let it hang in their cage and they kind of like pick at it or whatever, but that's not their actual food or whatever food source. But that's what she was feeding it. Like, she brought the bird in the cage, this little shitty ass broken ass cage, right? And then she's like, this is the food, and we're like, what the fuck? Well, she wound up abandoning the freaking poor bird, man. She never came back for it. The dog too, she dropped off a dog and she just left the dog. She just abandoned both of the animals. We found a home for the dog, but we couldn't find a home for the bird, so the bird wound up staying like a long time, like, what are we gonna do with this bird? And fortunately, my aunt, who owned the property and the business, had like a bigger bird cage there at the kennel that was like used for whatever reason. Like, you had to clean the cage, you put the animal in this cage while you clean their cage out and then transfer the animal back or whatever. So we're like, can we transfer the bird, get rid of this shitty ass cage and put this poor bird in a bigger cage? And that wound up being its home, until we could find it at home. And we still, so Fumbles and I were like, you know what, we'll take this guy in. We wound up calling him Russell, and we adopted him, and he came home with us. And we had him out by the front door because there's a window and then the front door, which we pretty much always have open. So it was like, that's the most lighted area in the house. We'll keep him over there. Even over there in the front of the house, dude, that bird would scream, bro. And you could hear him like over the microphone while I was streaming and stuff. So my mom was like, you know what? I'll take him. You guys, like, you're having trouble with him screaming and stuff and squawking or whatever. She's like, I'll take him. I don't mind taking him. So he's been living at grandma's house this whole time, and he loves it, man. She's got this little like alarm clock radio that like she keeps on, like, very low volume, but she keeps it on right by his cage, and he sits there and whistles and just has a good old time. We have no idea how old he is, but and he's a feisty little shit, dude. that little bird, man. He doesn't let anybody. I don't know how they mistreated him or whatever, like how they treated him when when that other lady had. She was an older lady, so you would figure, they'd either just never touch him or mess with him or like whatever the case is, man. But he doesn't let anybody pick him up, dude. I've tried to get close to him and try to like work up to it, and let him jump on my hand or whatever. Nah, bro, right away he tries to bite. Eesh. You're feisty little shit. Russell, man, yeah, he's still there, dude. He's looking old though, man. His feathers are looking real like, you know what I mean? Like, they're losing their color. They're kind of fading a little bit. And on the top of his head, it kind of looks like he's an old man. Poor guy. And I know birds live to be, just depending on the bird, I know they live to be old, man. Like, my brother-in-law, man, his mom had a parrot. And God, dude, I don't even know how old that freaking parrot was, bro. Fumbles would tell me stories about that stupid bird when she was little, And I met Fumbles my last year of high school, and sometimes we'd go over there for a party or whatever, and they'd feed the bird like jalapenos and stuff, like straight raw jalapenos, dude. And that dude was mean. That bird was mean, bro. They told me the first time I went there, do not put your fingers in the cage. Don't try to pet him. Don't put your fingers near the cage because he'll bite the crap out of you. It's like, man, I want to pet the bird. No, but actually, that's the funny thing too, bro. Is like, I've never ever met a friendly parrot. I don't know if that's a thing or they're just honoring, or I don't know. But I think that's kind of sad, bro, because like you see videos of people that own these birds, and then like they're like sitting on their shoulder, they're like resting on their hand and stuff. They're like petting them, like pretty bird. And any ever is that what was that his name? Charlie. That guy was mean. You know, it's like I want to pet the bird, but not if he's gonna bite my finger off. Jesus Christ! And they got strong jaws, dude. Like, your child sticks their finger in that cage, dude. Liable to pull back a nub, unfortunately. Charlie, huh? That's funny. His name was Charlie, babe? He's a mean bastard. Charlie. Come to Magic Mountain with us, Charlie. Or is it Candy Mountain? It's Candy Mountain, huh? Candy Mountain, Charlie. You ever see that unicorn movie, folks? Enjoyed Dark Souls 1. Oh, now we're on the Dark Souls topic. You know what? We're talking about birds, bro. Yo, for reals, dog. I'm sorry to hear about the kitty, bro. Oh, gee. Enjoyed Dark Souls 1 for what it was worth, but I don't think I'm gonna play it again unless I get an actual PC. You know what? I started it the other day. Last Tuesday, during my boy's birthday. You're kind of just all sitting around, just hanging out, you know, and I was like, I want to play Dark Souls. And I fired it up, dude, and I beat the gargoyles, I beat the Kappa Demon, I got into the depths. All within like a 3-hour period, a 4-hour period. But it's like, it's definitely a love-hate relationship with Dark Souls, man, because it's like, I love the game. I enjoy what it is, you know. But then you start playing it and some bullshit happens, dude. And you're like, no freaking way that just happened. Like, how? So, okay, an example. You know, in the Undead Burg, I know you said you've only played it the one time, but so I don't know how familiar you are with the map or whatever, like the areas. On the Undead Burg, right when you start the game, you know, you're at the Firelink Shrine, then you go up the stairs, and then where the rat is, you go down the sewer, and then up, kill the guys, and then the dragon, the Hellkite dragon comes in, right, and boom, flies off. And you fight all those guys, and there's that one dude pelting you with the crossbow, right there, right? I killed everyone, got the bonfire, and then I started to go continue forward, continue on the way you're supposed to go, right? There's a hidden chest in that one room. As you go up, go inside that one room, and then go cut around to the corner, get through the door. There's little steps. You go into the room. There's a chest. There's a couple of guys in there, and then you go back around, and there's like 3 guys up on the roof throwing fire bombs at you, and then 3 guys down below. One of them who's throwing fire bombs at you, right? Got all that, right? In that area, dude, I died a couple of times just because, you know, I hadn't played Dark Souls. You need to get used to the timing of the rolling and stuff like that, right? So after I finally cleared it a couple of times, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling a little more confident on my timing, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, right? Whatever. I took everyone out, the crossbow guy, because you spawn in at the bonfire. Right, and as you spawn in the bonfire, you can pretty much see the guy with the crossbow right there. Right, and then down the stairs a little bit, there's another guy. Does he have a spear? I think he has a spear, right? No, sword maybe. I killed all those little guys anyways, right? So I wanted to kill all those little guys because they will follow you, right? They'll follow you, dude. They don't give a shit. They'll follow you. I killed all of them, and the thing is to go kill all the little guys and then continue across the bridge into the little room and kill those 3 guys in there. There's one dude with a shield and a sword, and then 2 other guys with axes or some shit in there, right? As I was fighting the dude with the shield in the room, a little bastard, little pissant, came up behind me out of nowhere, from nowhere, bro. Mind you, I killed everyone by firelink, by the bonfire. There shouldn't have been any of the little guys besides the two guys with the spears and the shields where you go down to the merchant. Those are the only two guys left alive. Where the shit did this little bastard come from? He just spawned in? Enemies don't just spawn in Dark Souls, bro. They're already there. It's not like, oh, look, I appeared out of nowhere. No, all the enemies that are in the area, they're already there. They don't just spawn in after you kill all of them. You know, like, no, that's not how it works, bro. This isn't Doom, you know, where like the demons just keep spawning in and shit. No, that's not how Dark Souls work. So where the hell did that little bastard come from, dude? He backstabbed me, bro. I died. I was like, that should not have happened. What the hell was that? Where the fuck did that dude come from? I still can't figure it out, bro. I have no idea where that little bastard came from. You almost missed entering your timesheet, like for work? Dude, I've done that a couple of times, man. That sucks. With Julia equals... you think with Julia is better than Firelink? It is more interesting. You've never played Dark Souls 2 and you get to Majulia for the first time and you see that big fucking pit and you're like, what the hell? I want to see somebody that's never played Dark Souls 2 and that doesn't have somebody giving them hints in chat to see that pit and then they just get the idea to just jump in. I want to see that. That theme is so fucking good. What are you talking about, bro? Julia? Huh? I don't know. I kind of like Firelink Shrine, though, bro, because it just seems so peaceful. You know? It's just you and Homeboy right there on the side. What's his name? I can't remember Homeboy's name. He's right there at Firelink. And then as you, like, come across NPCs in the world, they wind up finding their way back there at Firelink, you know? So you see all of them there. In Dark Souls 2, some of the NPCs do make it back to Majulia, but not all of them. Yeah. I honestly, after playing all the games that I've played so far, all the Souls games, Lies of P, Elden Ring, Sekiro, like, looking back, I honestly felt like I was too harsh on Dark Souls 2, man. It was a good game. It really was a good game, dude. And honestly, bro, I wouldn't mind playing it again. Because Dark Souls 2 was pretty freaking righteous, man. It was. At the time, I didn't think so. It just felt weird. It felt different. It didn't feel like the first one. And I think that, it's not that I think, I know that it was my doing. Because I had this like idea of what I was getting myself into because I played the first one. And I expected the second one to play a lot like the first Dark Souls game. And it doesn't, dude. It's its own thing completely. And I think that's what threw me off. You know, that's what upset me so much. Is like, I felt like I was a badass playing through Dark Souls the second time. You know, because my first attempt ever was a catastrophe, dude. It was bad. It was horrible. I was bitching the whole time. And like, what is this game? Like, why do the little mobs kill you like it's a boss fight, bro? Like, this doesn't make any freaking sense. This is stupid. And then I finally played through it and I got through the game and I'm like, bro, that was badass. Let's do it again. And by the end of the second playthrough, bro, I felt like I was Superman, you know, like parrying fools and just kicking ass, bro. You know, kind of have an idea of what's going on, and you know how to level my guy up and what weapons to use and how to upgrade those weapons. And then here we come. Here we going into Dark Souls 2. It's like all that crap that you learned in that last game doesn't matter, bro. You got to learn it all again. Crestfallen Warrior. What about it? But another, you know, the good thing about Dark Souls, I feel like all of the map felt connected. You know what I mean? Like the whole world felt like it was like one place led into another, into another, into another. It all felt like it was all connected. One big, gigantic connected world. And I really didn't feel that disconnection when I went into the painted world, or when I went into the DLC. Because it all still felt like it was part of the main, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like the main map. It all felt really thought out, bro. You know, like, it was amazing. And the other thing that I thought was amazing about Dark Souls is how good it felt to parry the enemies, dude. Like, I didn't really do too much parrying in Dark Souls 2. Not closer to like the end of the game, you know, pretty much when I was at a higher level and I had, you know, better armor and better weapons and better shields and stuff. And at one point, I remember I was in a castle and there was some bigger knights that I had to take out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to parry these guys. I want to try it just for the hell of it. And after a couple of attempts, I was able to get the timing for the parrying down, and it just didn't feel the same, you know? I don't think I parried anyone. I don't think I used parrying at all in Dark Souls 3, dude. I don't even think it crossed my mind. But the parrying in Dark Souls 1, dude, the first Dark Souls, man, it felt good, bro. It felt really good. And you could make the window to do the parrying by using a different shield, a buckler shield. I personally like to use the parrying dagger. I feel like that's the best combination, is the parrying dagger with the Black Knight sword. Is like that shit feels great, bro. So what are you saying about the Crestfallen Warrior, man? You like the armor or what? All the armor in the Souls games are freaking amazing, bro. Oh, the guy that you were talking to, is that who it is? The Crestfallen Warrior? He's got he's kind of like sitting and kind of like leaning on one knee or whatever, and he's got his helmet off, but he's in like full armor. Is that the dude? He's the only one that's there when you first start the game. When the crow drops you off, flies out of the scene. You stand up, boom, it says Firelink Shrine. You look to the right, there's that dude that's right there. Is that the Crestfallen Warrior? Is that him? I know when you talk to him, he tells you about ringing the 2 bells. Yeah, him. Okay, yeah. Yep. Was it the first time I ever fired up Dark Souls? I think I attacked him. And I was like, oh crap, you're not supposed to attack this guy. He started attacking me back. Like, I thought I was just gonna kill him. And every single time I went back to Firelink Shrine, he would just kick my ass, dude. I'm like, oh my god, this is annoying. I had no idea. No freaking idea, bro. And at the time, I didn't have help with chat. Like, there wasn't anyone in chat like, hey, don't hit that guy. You know, like, don't do this, don't do that. Go here, don't go there. You know, like, I had no idea about the leveling system, you know, the upgrading system. I had nothing, dude. I went in completely blind. So when I started attacking that guy and then he started attacking me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll kick his ass. He kicked my ass, dude. All over that Firelink Shrine, bro. It was bad. It was bad. And then come to find out, after you kill the gargoyles, there's that dude in the tower that you can pay to absolve your sins, you know, and then you don't have to worry about that anymore. I think it's starting with the bread. I don't know. We'll see. Time will pass and we'll see how it goes. I think that cheap bread is bad for my stomach, dude. I don't know what's going on. What is ET Apex? Are you trying to be offensive? Are you trying to get under my skin? Is that what you're doing? Are you trying to be a troll? Because you're not a very good troll. I just want to let you know that. I appreciate you being here, man, and I appreciate your support. But if you're trying to troll me, man, you're going to have to try way fucking harder than that, dude. As far as the bad on Dark Souls, I feel like the input lag across the Dark Souls games is a thing. Like, I think it all has a lot to do with understanding the way the game runs. As if you dedicate yourself to an action, say an attack, right, you can't perform another action to break that animation. And once you figure that out, the game becomes a little easier. That was my deal. It was like, I'm trying to attack this guy, right? But I keep getting hit. Why do I keep getting hit if I'm dodging out of the way when he swings at me? Because I wasn't understanding that when you commit to an action, you have to see that action all the way through. The animation finishes and then you can perform the next action. You have to play it out like a rhythm game, dude, because if you get in there and you think that you're just gonna go Rambo and just kill everybody with a freaking machete knife, bro, it's not gonna happen. Duel and blackjack installed in that new chat bot for okay. Yeah, you started to tell me about that, man, but you were kind of preoccupied with being a host to whoever it was. I didn't even catch the name of the guy that you were playing with yesterday, dude. I hope your stream went well, man. Sorry, I wasn't able to chill that long in your stream, man. I hit the like button. Tried to do a couple of heists, and you were telling us that it was turned off or whatever, and you started to explain. Yeah, that bread's starting to fuck with my stomach. You were explaining to us that you were in the process of switching away from Streamlabs, and then you started to talk about what you were doing, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta go." You know, there's. Okay, so where the pool is, there's like a basketball court and a tennis court, but there's like a 10-foot high gated fence, right? And I saw the guys over there in the basketball court. I don't pay them any mind because I'm there to watch the pool area. Well, I was talking to the other guard. I got there at 8. You know, we're kind of exchanging information. Let me know what happened during the shift, if there's anything that I need to know, right? Regular stuff, whatever. As he's talking to me, I look over and I see this guy climbing the fence from the basketball court. I'm like, what the fuck is that guy doing? I'm watching him. I'm like, no way he's going to climb that fucking fence, dude. 10-foot fence? There's nothing to climb up on. I was like, what? So I watched him jump over, grab his basketball, throw it over, and then climb up on the wall, and then climb up on the fence and jump over the other side. So I walked over to the fence, and I was like, hey, you in the blue jersey, come here. Need to talk to you. Come here. He's like, what's up, man? I was like, listen, if you do that shit again, I'm going to report you to the HOA. What's your name? He goes, I don't have a name, man. I was like, all right, Link, because his shit said Lincoln, whatever the fuck, man. I don't know. Abraham, I don't know who the fuck, bro. I don't watch basketball. I was like, all right, Lincoln, I'm watching you, man. He didn't do it again. But it's just stupid shit like that, bro. It's like, oh my God, bro. I'm not a fucking babysitter, dog. I don't want to be a babysitter. But yeah, dude, my bad, bro. Yesterday kind of sucked. Yesterday did kind of suck, bro. Whatever, dog. It's a job, right? Whatever. Mister of Sekiro preaching. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly, man. I got some bullet points on each game. Wrote them out. Oh, all right. Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's cool. I get you. Do your thing, man. I'm getting closer and closer to the point where I'm gonna wind up switching over to OBS myself. You know, because it's Streamlabs, bro. And you have a lot more options with OBS. So, but anyways, back to our talking points here, man. So, I feel like the access to the DLC in Dark Souls 1 was a little convoluted, man. You know. The game never tells you that you have to go back to the starting point, the asylum. It never once does the game explain to you, hey, you know that place you started at, the asylum? Yeah, you remember that place? Yeah, you gotta go back. You gotta go back and you gotta defeat the boss that's in there. And then the holding cell, the jail cell that you started in, there's an item in that holding cell that you need to grab for the DLC. The game never explains it to you, bro. So if you don't have a friend or somebody that was like, oh yeah, you're playing Dark Souls, you didn't happen to go back to the asylum, did you, by any chance? And you're like, what? I didn't know you could go back. Yeah, you know, you go to a fire link and you go all the way to the top where the bird is, and the bird will take you back, and then you have to do the whole thing again. You have to fight the stray demon, and then you have to. There is a black knight in gold armor in that hallway leading to that jail cell that you start the game in. That guy is a fucking mutant freak, bro. That shit was no fun. Hosting it all. Got it, man. Painted World isn't DLC, it's Dark Souls. What? Yeah, no, the Painted World is all part of the base game. The DLC, you have to get the... Okay, well, the doll, that's right, the doll. You need the doll to get into the Painted World. You need to go and kill the golem out in the lake where the Hydra is. You're right, dude. Thank you. You're right. Thank you. You have to go and kill the golem that's in the lake where the Hydra is, off in that one corner of the lake. And then you go kill the golem that's in the Duke's archive, right? You got to go to the Duke's archive and kill that one crystal golem that's over there, like in the corner, before you get into that big library area or whatever, right? And then you take that amulet over where you killed the first golem to like release that lady or whatever, that chick that's there, right? And that's where that shit opens. Boom, and you get in there. See, that's the thing, is the game doesn't explain any of that to you, bro. Like, you need to figure that out for yourself, right? And you're right. Thank you for calling me out on that, bro. That doll is for accessing the Painted World in Orlando. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I was putting those two together, but yeah, you're completely right. You know, another thing, and I just posted it on Discord last night, bro, because I saw it. The fight with Sif. Artorias' dog. I didn't know there was an alternate cutscene to that fight. So if you hold off on fighting Sif and you go into the DLC and you follow that one, I forget what the hell the name of it is, bro. You go into the DLC, you follow the path, and it leads you to Sif when it's a puppy, when she is a puppy, because Sif is a girl. It's not a boy, it's a girl. You find Sif as a puppy in that ring of protection and those humanities. You kill the humanities and free Sif, and then you can summon Sif when you're fighting Mantis. So if you do all that before you go to the Dark Root Basin or whatever and fight Sif, the cutscene changes, dude. Apparently, and I want to see this for myself, dude. I want to see this for myself. But apparently, if you do all that stuff before you fight Sif, the cutscene changes. She'll jump off the tombstone and jump up on top of you and like smell you, like, and remembers you. But then she winds up picking up the sword. But it's not a fight like it was if you had not done that. You know what I mean? Like, she remembers you, so she's trying to stop you from going down the same path Atreus did. So she'll stand there and fight you, man. And apparently she limps. I guess, I don't know. I want to see it for myself, dude. I want to. Oh my god, bro, what an amazing fight, bro. I don't know if I'd have the heart to kill her, dude. Again, I don't know. That shit was emotional for me, man. Because especially knowing like that was his baby, you know, and she protected him the best she could. I think when the DLC first came out from software or something, posted a guide online telling players how to access it. Oh no shit, Artorias, yeah. Do I keep saying Atreus? Yeah, Artorias, bro. You know what I mean. I want to see that for myself, dude. I really do. And then another thing that I felt like it was kind of bad in Dark Souls. It's cool that they give you the ability to teleport, but it's, I don't want to say late game access, but after you get the what is it, the vessel of the gods or whatever, is that what it's called? Fuck, I don't remember. And it gives you the ability to teleport. I mean, I guess I see how that plays into it, but to have that, like, before that, bro, you got to run everywhere, man. You're on foot the whole time, you know, back and forth and back and forth. It is kind of a shitty thing to like have that teleporting shit after you beat Orestein and Smaug, you know. But at least they give it to you, you know. Hey, what's up, Arthur? Great topic. I'm in. Yeah, right now we're covering Dark Souls. I went over the good, the bad. We haven't gone over the ugly yet. I feel like the environment in Dark Souls 1 is great to look at. It's real beautiful and very connected and you know, but I feel like the environments in Dark Souls 2 were better, you know, but we'll get to that. And then the last thing I have for bad in Dark Souls is, I hate to say it, but Blighttown. I think Blighttown was kind of shit. Even after you've been through it once or twice, man, like going into Blighttown is not a good time, bro. And then you get down into the bottom, into the pit, you know, into the marsh down below, or the swamp, or whatever you want to call it, the fucking mud hellhole. And you're going at a snail's pace, unless you have that one ring, right, where you can like run faster through the water or whatever. And don't you get that ring over by the Hydra, or you get it from killing the Hydra or something like that? Yeah. Dude, Blighttown is just a freaking nightmare, bro. And then of all freaking bosses to have to fight after getting through that whole nightmare is a gigantic freaking spider. Come on, bro. Like, what are you, Miyazaki, bro? What are you doing? Bells are early to mid in Orlando, mid to early late. Ball souls are late, yeah. Because you got to get through Sin's Fortress, and then you got to get to an Orlando, you know. But before that, you're running through the Undead Burg, you're running through the depths, you're running through here, you're running through there, going to the freaking Dark Root Basin. You know, you're back and forth through the Undead Burg. You know, like it's just a back and forth. And then if you're brave enough to venture into Blighttown, which basically you have to do anyways because you have to ring that freaking bell. The run back from Blighttown is ridiculous, dude. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah, amazing chest ahead. Yeah, dude, exactly. Oh man, Guinevere. I remember the first time I played through it, and I got to an Orlando, and I beat Orenstein and Smaug, and I got up to Guinevere, and it was like amazing chest ahead. Somebody had said it in chat, amazing chest ahead, and I'm like, oh cool, it's gonna be good loot. And then you walk into the room, and then, you know, big fat titties right in your face, and you're like, whoa. And then someone was like, it's a lie, just kill her. I'm like, I'm not gonna kill this chick, bro. Look at her, man. I want to be freaking snoo, death by snoo, man. The hell. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like a bittersweet moment for me, man, and fighting Quelaag, because it's like a topless chick on the, you know, right there, but then you have this gigantic nasty spider who freaking spits out magma just all over the floor. It's like, oh yeah, is that what you want? Oh shit. Guinevere's brother instead, huh? You like that? Hey, Fumbles, he says he likes that better. You know what I was watching too? Another, because like I said, you know, watching more Dark Souls stuff. I'm getting more Dark Souls videos and shorts and stuff on my YouTube feed. The broken pedestal in Dark Souls 1 is them trying to erase the what's his name's son from all the lore because of how he like tried to betray Gwyn, and then it turns out that that's what's his name, the nameless king in Dark Souls 3. I think I'm messing up that a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro. That's freaking nuts, bro. Yeah, Blighttown was a fucking nightmare. And the run back to the bed of chaos. That shit kind of sucks, dude. You get this ring, this ring that protects you from running in lava. You don't get complete immunity from fire damage, but it drastically reduces the damage that you take while running through lava, right? Through any kind of fire or whatever. It's like a fire protection ring or whatever. When you get into the boss arena, it helps if you swap rings out, you know, for like you could put on, you know, heavier armor, so you want to put on Havel's ring, or you know, you want to put on another ring. You switch that ring out, the fire protection ring. You switch it out, right? And then you die, and because maybe it's just me, but because you're not really paying attention, you just want to run back to the boss. You forget to put the ring back on, and you start running through the magma to get, you know, to start the run back to get to the boss, the freaking bed of chaos. and then you die from this stupid magma, bro. The lava, it just kills you. And you're like, oh, bro, I forgot to put the ring back on. Yo, what's up, Wild Bear? The run back from the bed of chaos, dude. That was pretty rough, dude. That was pretty rough. That was hilarious. You like that? You're a savage, Wild Bear. ¿Qué pasa? What's up, man? Hope you had a good weekend, buddy. Jet Set Radio, man. I've never played that one. Never played Jet Set Radio. Yeah. I had plenty of laughs. Plenty of laughs to go around. Me falling off of stuff and dying. Yeah, it's been great, man. The demon ruins were unfinished. Where did you hear that? And, you know, that's funny that you say that, bro, because it always kind of felt like something was missing. Like it. And the Tomb of the Giants too, man. Like that. Those two areas, they just felt, I don't know, man. They just felt kind of empty, kind of like something was missing, man. Yeah, what's that? The freaking Wild Bear. Yeah. I've already seen a couple of likes on today's broadcast, man. I really appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Yeah, we're just talking over some bullet points of each Souls game that I've played. Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. There's going to be Elden Ring. We'll talk about Elden Ring. We'll talk about Sekiro. I guess we could touch a little bit on Liza P. That's not a From Software game, but you know that's a similar game. So far, we've gone over the good, the bad. We're touching up on the ugly right now for Dark Souls, and then we're going to move on to Dark Souls 2 here in a bit. You want some old consoles? Looking at a post for Nintendo, Genesis, and Wii with some games for $100. Oh wow! Trip out, dude. That's cool. I've every once in a while I'll poke my head into like web pages that they'll sell, you know, like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist video games and electronics to see if anyone's selling like some old systems or maybe some old games they're trying to get rid of, or you know, stuff like that. And I've never come across anything that good, bro. $250. What is it, like Nintendo, Genesis, and Wii, like all three, everything to get? Yeah, that bread is not setting well in my stomach, dude. I need to. That bread is messing me up. I'm already like getting heartburn, and I'm burping and stuff, dude. I think that bread is bad for my stomach. The coffee should not be giving me heartburn, and the grape jelly should not be giving me heartburn. It's the bread. Then it's still $250. If it's all of it together, then all sitting in a basket together, the picks. In a pick. Okay, $250. And if everything works, that's a steal, man. You should jump on that, dude. I mean, you already have some of that stuff. I mean, what's a couple of bucks to add to your collection, bro? Yeah, dude. Lost Islet and 3-stage Dino Dragons randomly positioned was very strange. Yeah, you like that, bro? You have to get rid of the stuff you have. I thought you were telling me that you were going to get one of those like shipping containers or whatever, like pods or whatever, like to keep your stuff in that you didn't want to get rid of. Well, you might want to reserve that a little bit because okay, say that we're kind of getting off topic here, but that's fine, bro. That's what these streams are all about. Um, so okay, let's just for a moment, right? Will Badger is sitting in his new RV in his truck that he personally built himself. You're sitting at your desk. What's behind you, bro? Just a blank wall? You're gonna put up some posters? Why not mount those old consoles up on the wall or something, bro? Mount a couple of the controllers up or a couple of the games there. You know, not a lot, but just some decoration. I mean, you're a gamer, right? You did play some of these consoles and some of these games. Just food for thought, man. Just food for thought. I don't know what you have in mind as far as decoration on the inside. I'm sure it's going to be very minimal, you know, because one, you're a guy, and two, you don't like a lot of bullshit and clutter and stuff, you know. But I mean, it might be a little interesting to look at something behind you other than just a flat white wall. You know what I mean? So just food for thought, bro. Just saying. I don't, like I said, I don't know how you're gonna decorate the inside. You know, maybe put a little you put a little cactus on your desk, man, to get a little green plant there or something. I don't know. I don't know. Give you topics to talk about. I can't stop chatting. Well, that's what the purpose of these just chatting streams are, bro. Yeah. How much wall space do you think I got? Enough to put up a poster? It's a cabinet distortion. Yeah, see? Not something flat. We don't like flat. Wild Bear, you need to go watch a couple of Will Badger streams. He's a cool guy to hang out with, man. Look, I'll drop his link in chat, bro. Go subscribe. Wild Bear's good people. My back all the way down to my ass hurts. Why, bro? What are you doing over there? What do you do? Will never streams when I'm awake. Aww. Yeah, he's got some goofy stream times, bro. And sometimes he won't stream for a while, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I might want to stream today." How many times have you set up a stream sitting there waiting to click the button to go live and then you don't go live? You bastard. Okay. All right, be careful. You're going to stay there the whole time or? It's over there by Walmart? Yeah, where Sonic is. There's like a Cricket store and it's like a long little strip mall right there. Like Bonnie's.
The Walgreens, and then there's a Circle K, and then there's a Valero going up Montwood, South Kleinfeld, Montwood. Where the church is.
Oh yeah, that threw me off. Yeah. Right there where the Walgreens is. Yeah. I was like, there isn't a Walgreens until you get all the way down to Vista del Sol. What are you talking about? I was in the wrong freaking area. All right, well, be careful. Good luck, Robert. Try your hardest. Pay attention. ASVAB test, huh? Probably from sleeping wrong. Been in weird positions. Still on my aunt's couch, by the way. Is it one of the sofas where you can flip the cushions? Maybe that's it, bro. Try flipping the oh, well, you know what? Some cushions, like the other side, isn't fabric all the way around. It's got like that mesh cloth underneath, so that might not work. Fuck, bro. Sorry to hear that, dude. You know what? There's a stretch that might help. That might help you, man. You gotta lay flat on your ground, on maybe on the ground, like a flat surface, not you probably don't want to do this on the sofa, but you get one leg and you cross it like you're just gonna sit there with your legs crossed. You put your ankle on your knee, and then you put your hands and pull your leg while the other one's kind of resting, and then do it on the other side. Kind of hold it there for a couple of seconds, and it'll kind of stretch out your hips a little bit and your lower back, and it might relieve some of the pressure, man. Try it, bro. Yeah, mostly at night, yeah. A good deal. Pretty much every day. What do you tell? Didn't see that one coming. Yeah, dude. You got, stretch and hold it for a second, stretch and hold it for a second. Come on, man. You gotta stay limber, dude. You never know when you gotta fucking throw down, dude. Somebody step to you, talk a smack about your squeeze. Give him one of these, man, right across the jaw. I think that's what he's talking about, bro. A fold-out couch, dude. Maybe. I don't know. Built-in outlets. Oh, maybe one of those that has like a centerpiece where they got the cup holders and the armrest, and right there on the armrest there's like an actual outlet to plug in your phone charger or whatever. Because we have one of those. It's like a love seat or whatever. No, I wouldn't say a love seat. It's a full-on sofa. It's just it has a hidden compartment in the middle that you can pull out where the footrest would come out, but it's like a hidden drawer, hidden compartment, and then the center cushion folds down to reveal like a little table, like a resting. It's got a piece of wood there. It's kind of like all fitted in or whatever. It looks real nice. Got the two cup holders, and then a little button. And if you hit the button, like an outlet pops up, and it's got a bunch of outlets right there that you can plug your phone charger or tablet charger or whatever, laptop, boom, right there. Light, whatever, fan, whatever you need. He meant built-in outfits. The fuck is it? What? What was that Wii aerobics game? Isn't it with the balance board? Is that the one you were talking about? I meant built-in outfit. I still don't know what the fuck a built-in outfit is, bro. What is that? Richard Simmons? Yeah, dude. Sweat like a pony. Dude, I don't know, man. I'd love to get Armored Core 6, but honestly, dude, if I had to choose between Armored Core 6 and Demon Souls, I think I would get Demon Souls first. Wii Fit, maybe? Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. You've never heard of something being called an outfit? No. I mean, I know what a fucking outfit is, like if you're gonna wear your clothes, you're like, oh yeah, I like your outfit, bro, like that. But as far as talking about like a sofa, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what? I've never heard that term before ever. You guys in the north are weird, man. Calling chili beans chili. You dip chips into chili, man. You put chili beans on your hot dog. You guys are weird. Wawas and shit. Got your Wawa right here, buddy. Yeah, I saw that, man. Summer sale on Steam. Yeah. Okay, and then for the last topic here on Dark Souls the Ugly, man. The hitboxes, bro. Like, how many times was I in Sin's Fortress and in other places where you think you're safe by standing behind a pillar or standing on the other side of a wall, and then out of nowhere, boom, enemy comes and hits you, and then you die. Like that's pretty much in almost all the Souls games. But I feel like it was the worst in the first Dark Souls, man. It was pretty bad. A couple of examples when you're on your way to fight the Kappa demon, right? You're going through that narrow like corridor or whatever, and you got those assassin dudes that jump out and like throw poison daggers at you and whatnot. At one point, you come to a spot where there's the two dogs just before the boss room, and then there's two of those assassin guys that jump out on the left and the right. And the guy that's in the right, he's kind of like by the wall in the room waiting for you. And if you get too close to that wall, he'll stab you through that freaking wall, dude. No, chili is chili and salsa is fucking salsa. No, it's not. It's not, dude. It's really not. I don't give a fuck what you say, bro. You're wrong. Because chili. Can I get a bowl of chili and some chips, please? Yeah, actually, you know what? You raise your hand. Oh, yeah. What would you guys? What can I get you? Waiter comes over. He's like, oh yeah, we finished the chips and the chili. Can we get another bowl of chili and some fresh chips, please? No, you're wrong. I'll die on this hill, bro. You're wrong. This right here, see that thick chile right there, bro? See that? Don't mind that the label says salsa, okay? Fuck you. That's chile right there, bro. Okay, salsa verde. Yeah. But that's chile right there, bro. Can I get a bowl of chile and some chips? Maybe that's where you and I are different, bro. Because I say it with like that accent, chile, not chili. Okay, if you're gonna say can I get some chili? And they bring you out a freaking bowl of meat and chili and stuff. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. I get that. You say chile. Let me get some chile, bro. Maybe that's it. The kitten climbed onto the couch for the first time. Holy shit. This old boy is freaking out, dude. Nobody calls salsa chili except your ass. No. Wrong. You're wrong. You know, I'm gonna do like a IRL, not a stream, but I'm gonna take my phone, bro, out into the city, into public areas, man. I'm gonna ask random people, man, this question: What do you call? Would you consider salsa chile, or would you consider chile salsa? And or is chili with beans or without beans the stuff that you put on your hot dog? Or eat with crackers and cheese in a bowl. We're going to get to the bottom of this, man. People call that green salsa. See, now we're starting to push your buttons, bro. Now I'm starting to push your buttons. See, if I wanted to push your buttons. Salsa verde, last I checked, verde is green in Spanish. No, yeah, it is. Did you not hear me say? Don't ignore the sticker. Ignore the sticker. It says salsa verde on the front of it. Yeah, it's true. Vegetable soup doesn't need meat. I mean, that's. Ignore the name on the fucking front. It's on the front. It says salsa. It does. You're right. It does. I'll call it what I want, and I'll call it what I want too. But we're gonna be confused back and forth. Hey, can you pass the chile, bro? I didn't make any fucking chili. The stuff in the bowl right there, bro. I would have dipped my chip in it. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, dude, the hitboxes. I feel like the hitboxes in Dark Souls 1 was the worst. Another example. Another example is Sin's Fortress. You enter Sin's Fortress for the first time. You've never been there in your life. You enter Sin's Fortress, and you're met with two snake guys, snake bros, right? Two of them. And you're fighting them, you're dodging them. They're both coming at you at the same time, bro. There's no way to get them. There's ways to get them apart from each other, but it's a challenge, right? It can be done, but it's difficult, especially if you've never dealt with these bastards before in your life. So you've got it's a small room, but you've got these 6 giant pillars that go from the floor all the way to the ceiling. Right? There's 6 pillars, man. So you're like, all right, if I bob and weave between these pillars, I'll be able to evade this guy's attacks and maybe not get hit. So he's on that side of the pillar, and I'm on this side of the pillar, and I'm gonna use my Estus flask to heal, right? In Sin's Fortress, and then this guy swings his sword at you, completely going right through the pillar like it wasn't even there. And hitting you and wind up essentially killing you, or if not, damn near close to killing you. What the hell just happened? Yeah, dude. The hitboxes clipping through walls and pillars like that in Dark Souls 1, I feel is the worst out of all the games. I don't know if it's the way they coded it or what's going on with that game, but like I said, even on the way to fighting the Kappa Demon, like if you're standing in the wrong place at the wrong time, they will hit you through the wall. So, what's that? What's good, Ginger Hippo? Welcome in, man. GT trying to outsmart auto check. You like that, dude? I think I don't know, man. I get it in my head to do these things, and it's like it's not gonna work, but yet I still keep on, man. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, that's not working. I gotta find a different approach here. All in all, even though Dark Souls does have its flaws, I still feel like, and this is my opinion, but I feel like Dark Souls 1 is peak. Like that's like the best, man. You know, I put Dark Souls 1 in first place, man. S tier. It like I said, it does have its flaws. You know, like I feel like the good outweighs the bad. That being said, it's still like a love-hate relationship, because even though you've played through the game and you know what to do and where to go and you know how to allocate your soul, the points that you spend into the right places, I feel like it's such a random thing that when you play through it, it's never the same playthrough twice. You know what I mean? You seen Dark Souls 1 speedrun record? Oh yeah. What is it, 28 minutes? I think it's 28 minutes is the fastest time that I've seen. I sat there and I watched the whole thing, man, and I just couldn't believe how this guy was able to like glitch himself through like certain areas and like completely just skip almost all of Blighttown, dude. It was ridiculous, man. I watched it and I was just in complete disbelief, man. Dark Souls 1, even the remaster, is just super slow. Well, that's pretty much the way all the games are, man. You got to think of them as a rhythm game, you know? You think about it, and there's a guy right in front of you. He's got his shield. He's got his sword, right? And if you hit him, boom, he's going to block your hit and return with his own attack, right? So just in that interaction alone is 30 seconds, bro. 20-30 seconds, right? What's up, Blazing J? Welcome, man. You got to think about it as like a rhythm game, bro. Like he makes his move, you make your move. He makes his move, you make your move. You got to time that just right. Whether your move is an attack, a roll, or a block, or a parry, you got to know that when you commit to that action, you got to see it all the way through. before you can do the next action. So if you go attack and you're like, fuck, that was the wrong decision, I need to move out of the way, that's too bad. You already made your decision. You have to live with that decision. You have to learn from your mistakes. And I think that's what makes the Dark Souls series so amazing, is that it makes you keep reliving that until you get past it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna keep beating your head against the wall until you figure out what you're doing wrong and you can get past it. And it makes you become more aware of your actions. You know what I mean? There's consequences, bro. If you choose to run in there and act a fool, you're probably gonna die. You know, you got to think about it, bro. And it's, yeah, you're right. It is slow. You know, you gotta slow yourself down and kind of pace yourself to the game instead of trying to overcome it, you know, and play the game in like a fast manner. You can run through it. You don't have, that's the thing with Dark Souls, bro, is that you don't have to fight every single enemy. Nobody ever said that you have to kill every single enemy, dude. Why do you think speedrunners are able to get through the game so quickly, bro? Because they completely avoid areas, or they just run straight through. You know what I mean? Like, it's only thick-headed, freaking stubborn people like myself that are like, oh, I have to kill this guy here, I have to kill that guy there, I have to kill this dragon, I have to kill that dragon, you know, I have to beat the boss a certain way. When no, dude, there's other ways to go about doing these things. You have to roleplay as Indiana Jones with those boulders in Sin's Fortress. That's part of the fun, bro. You never know when the boulder's coming, because you can spin that contraption at the top that shoots the boulder in different directions depending on which way you point it. But the thing is if you let it sit like that too long, it'll reset to its original position. And if you're heading down that one hallway to go down all the way down where the boulders rest into that pit, and you don't go fast and you don't like run to get there fast enough, those boulders will start coming back after you, man. It's a pain in the ass, and they knock you on your ass every time. And the funny thing is, bro, is the hitboxes on those boulders in Sin's Fortress are really weird, because at one point there's like the boulder will come down the slope, boom, and then hit the wall and kind of just roll off and then turn the corner and then roll down the next hill. But if you're standing in the doorway right there and you're too close to it, just standing just a cunt hair too close, bro, the hitbox will hit you and it'll knock you on your ass, bro. And it's super annoying, dude. It is really annoying. Oh shit, I need to turn off my ringer. It's very annoying. But yeah, that's all the bullet points that I have for Dark Souls. In a good environment, map feels connected, the good, the bad. Input lag, access to DLC, late game teleport, and Blight Town. And then the ugly, the run back to the bed of chaos, and hitbox clipping through walls. It's just, it's disgusting. New record is under 20 minutes. Wow. From January this year? Jesus Christ, dude. There's this one area. Actually, it's right there just after the Undead Burg, like where you go to talk to where Andre is, and going to Sin's Fortress. So you got those three guys that are by the stairs leading to the tower where Andre is. So if you bait one of those guys in that long, like where the stairs are, I don't know if you want to call it, like, I guess that, what is that, like a little bridge, like a little half bridge right there. If you bait one of those guys, you get your camera, because your camera is right behind you, right? Third person. I've seen this done in a couple of different videos. You get the camera and you point it straight down like you're looking at the top of your guy's head. And you get behind one of those little guys and you backstab him. The animation for the backstab will pull the camera in, and it makes the camera go all wonky. So instead of being like looking down at an angle, the camera will be completely like looking straight down on you, like completely like not at an angle anymore, but completely looking like all the way straight down to where it can't like move forward anymore. You know what I mean? And then the death cam. Yeah. So you don't mess with the camera. You leave it alone. you turn around and you run back like you're running back to Sin's Fortress, and you run up the stairs again, and the camera will start to clip through the as you running up the stairs, it'll clip through the floor and push the camera as you keep going up, it'll push the camera into your guy. And if you memorize the route, you run to Sin's Fortress and it'll clip you through like the door of Sin's Fortress or whatever, and you can get into Sin's Fortress early. And that's how they get around all that mess. Because I think you have to ring both of the bells, right, to open the door at Sin's Fortress, and that's how you get around that. Is you clip through it. It's risky because I've seen a video where a guy was trying to do it, and the game like glitched out, and he like glitched through the floor and he died. So it's possible to mess it up. 19 minutes and 28 seconds. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 tied for you? Right on. A fair way to play Souls games is to get over leveled and enjoy the game. Once I've beaten the game, then I try to do more challenging runs. Yeah. Because you kind of have an idea of what you're supposed to be doing, the areas that you need to go, you know, like, and the sequence of which things need to be done so you can continue. Yeah. Talk to this guy, talk to that guy, go do this, go do that, open this area, kill this boss, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. See, I kind of like the struggle, man. You know, you guys are talking about leveling up and being able to like one shot Black Knights and stuff and your stuff. I kind of like the fact that I need to chip away his health. Not so much like hit him twice and he's dead, but maybe get like 8 or 9 shots in him before he dies, just to feel like I'm a badass at parrying these fucking dudes. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the bullet points I had for Dark Souls 1 is parrying, dude. Parrying in that game feels amazing. It's the best out of all the Souls games that, and I can't really say anything for Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring. I can speak to Sekiro because Sekiro is basically the entire game is all you're doing is freaking parrying these guys, the enemies. But in Dark Souls, the parrying enemies felt so satisfying, dude. And I know that's personal preference. Like I've seen other people stream, and I've talked to people in chat about it, and it's like I don't fuck parrying, bro. Just block that shit and move on. You know, hit him, kill him, move on. Like fuck parrying. Like who gives a shit about parrying? Only pussies parry, dude. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like the timing on that shit is, the window is small. You know, like you got to get it just right, or you're gonna get hit, and in most cases, it only takes 2 or 3 hits and you're dead, you know? So you get that parry, and especially on a Black Knight, dude. Like that first Black Knight that you come across in the Undead Burg, and that's down that hallway, and it has that red ring at the end when you kill him. Yeah, that first one, man, like you're so under leveled to fight that guy. And if you have the balls to go down and fight Havel and parry that dude, and kill him with parrying or backstabbing, dude, you just feel like a legend, man. You feel like a freaking god, and I love that feeling, bro. That shit's cool, you know. Like you're this skinny little tarnished hollow fuck, like, dude, you know. Like how is this guy gonna win this fight against this big bastard, you know? And here you are parrying this guy, you know, stab his ass, and you get the whole animation and everything. It looks dope. I love it, man. Glitch falls aren't the funniest, but I never complain. You could try. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've like I said, I started Dark Souls again, but this was on Fumble's PS4. I didn't want to fire up the computer and turn on everything and play Dark Souls in here. I just did it in the living room, and Fumbles and the kids were sitting there watching me, and yeah, I had a couple of laughs because of gravity, man. Because like, how did that even happen? Like stupid shit. At one point, I put my armor back on because I just run around with no armor. You know, it's easier. I get the skinny roll and you're set. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw on some armor because I think it'll help with the gargoyles. Yeah, no, the fat roll messed me up. But the fat roll messed me up. Yeah, Better parry than Bloodborne. See, that's where I have trouble. Like between the two, do I like the parrying in Dark Souls 1 or do I like the parrying in Bloodborne better? I'll say the window for the parrying in Bloodborne is much smaller. It's a little harder to grasp the parrying in Bloodborne. It is. It at least it feels a little more difficult. God, dude, I don't to do it with the gun. You know, it kind of adds that like excitement to it. I'll give you that. Like parrying an enemy, you shoot them, and it like parries them, and then you can go get the riposte. I don't know, dude. I think I like the parrying in Dark Souls 1 better. Just because you have to do it with your left hand. You know, you always have your gun in Bloodborne. Like that's one thing, and you have to get grind for bullets, and sometimes it can be a bitch finding more ammunition. In Dark Souls, you have your shield, or you can get the parrying dagger. And if you get the buckler shield, it makes it a little easier to parry. You know, but then the buckler shield doesn't really offer a lot of protection as far as defending yourself. So there's a drawback to that. But if you're good enough and you use the parrying dagger in your left hand, and you have like a sword, Black Knight sword, or the man serpent sword, whatever, claymore, whatever. Just seeing your character with that dagger and that sword, that shit looks fucking gangster as fuck, dude. And see, you can't do that in Bloodborne. So I think I like it. I like the parrying better in Dark Souls, just because you have the option to use your shield or the parrying dagger, and the parrying in Dark Souls 1 just feels better. Less about being able to one shoot and more about getting enough health to not die, and two hits to a boss. Yeah. It does. I will agree that Bloodborne, it's a little more thought out, a little more flashy, a little more shine. Like it's kind of like they tried to compensate for the way it feels by adding more sound effect to it. That is cool, but in the long run, you do feel it, man. You know, like. The window for the parrying in Bloodborne is half of the time that you get in Dark Souls. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like, say that you have like 1.5 seconds to get that timing in Dark Souls, right? But in Bloodborne, it's not 1.5 seconds. It's like 1 second. Like you miss it, you're fucked. In a lot of cases, like Blazing J was saying, like in a lot of cases, if you miss that window, you take that hit, that full frontal attack, bah, you're dead. You're dead. That's it. Love the no wait system in Bloodborne. That is convenient. Yeah, I do really like that. I do. Yeah, because it's not based on what you're carrying anymore, right? You could change your outfit, you can change your weapons. It doesn't matter. As to where Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring even, yeah, your equipment load matters a lot, and it changes the way your character moves as well. How much stamina that you use, stuff like that. Okay, so getting into Dark Souls 2, I feel like, starting with the good, I feel like I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the rings, they have more use in Dark Souls 2. Like you can put 4 rings on, right? If I remember correctly. Is it 4 rings? And it feels like the rings make a big difference to how you play the game. You know what I mean? They have different effects. I think the ring that stands out the most is the cat ring that reduces your fall damage. Like I really enjoy that ring, especially because I have a tendency to fall off a lot of shit. So it kind of saved my life in a lot of situations. Yeah, 4 rings. Yeah. Yeah. And it makes a huge difference, dude. You never used the cat ring? It makes a big difference, man. It really does. I think that was one of my favorite rings in Dark Souls 2, man, is the cat ring. Yeah, because I do fall a lot, and Wild Bear can back me up on that, bro. I do fall a lot. Unfortunately, it's in a lot of places where it's instant death. But in the off chance that I fall off and I land on a solid surface or an area that you should be able to access, but normally wouldn't because you don't have the ring, not enough. The ring helps. You know, it does help. And the fact that you get to put on 4 rings and not just 2 like in Dark Souls, it feels like it makes a bigger difference than, you know, because it's cool that they do give you the option to put on rings in Dark Souls 1, but you can only put on 2 rings, you know, and say that you need Havel's ring because of the armor that you're wearing, but you need to take off Havel's ring because you need to put on, I don't know, the fire protection ring, or you need to put on some other ring or whatever. Then that means that you need to take off your armor, put on maybe some lighter armor, or completely go like armorless, just to be able to do what you need to do, and then turn around and put the rings back on that you had on before. It kind of sucks, you know. So having more slots to put on rings, it does help. It does help a lot. Then you can find out. You found out you had to put ladders down. Yeah, you could put the ladder down. Yeah, yeah. 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 There's a spell too, right? There's a spell that you can cast on yourself that'll like help with the fall damage, if I remember correctly. Kirk Hammer. What's a Kirk Hammer, bro? That's one thing I didn't use in the Souls games and Elden Ring either. I didn't use any of the hammers. It's like you said, Ginger Hippo, the game is slow enough as it is, and then you go and add a heavy weapon like a hammer. Well, I guess in Dark Souls 1 I did use the blacksmith hammer a little bit from an Orlando. You kill the giant and you get his hammer, the lightning hammer or whatever. I used it for a little bit. A viewer was telling me, Devin, good old Devin, man, I hope he's doing good. He was telling me, him and a couple of others were like, dude, that hammer's good, man. That shit does a lot of damage. And they were right. It does, dude. It does hit hard. But it's a slow weapon. Same thing with axes. Same viewer, Devin, was telling me in Dark Souls 2, he's like, there's an axe. I don't remember the name of the axe, bro, but he's like, you can upgrade it, and it turns out to be a really good axe. And I protested, you know, I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to fight with an axe, bro. I like swords, and I like big bonking, you know, so I want a big, great sword. And I wound up using the axe a lot more than I thought I was going to. And the reason being is because they're so slow. You know, they take up a lot of stamina to swing, and if you miss, you should, even if your attack connects, you know, you're still having your stamina, because fucking weapon takes a lot of energy to wield, you know. So I tried to stay away from, you know, if it was gonna be a big weapon like that, it was gonna be like a great sword, you know, or the claymore, the Zwei handler or something, you know, something that. Look at my big sword, you know. And I don't know, man. When I first started these Soul games, man, I was like, I want a big freaking sword, you know, like the great sword or the claymore or whatever. And as as I play through them, I'm like, oh, I like this sword better, or I like that sword better. Like the man serpent sword in Dark Souls 1. I didn't think I was gonna like that sword, man, but I wound up upgrading it to what, plus 15. Dude, what a legendary weapon, man. Such a great weapon, dude. The other bullet point that I have for Dark Souls 2 under good is the scenery, man. It's some of the greatest freaking areas in Dark Souls 2. I feel like some of the castles in Dark Souls 2 were way better looking than the castles that I saw in Dark Souls 3 or even Elden Ring, dude. Like, I feel like they took more time and thought out like the scenery in Dark Souls 2. Even though the world doesn't feel as connected as it did in Dark Souls 1, I feel like Dark Souls 2 really like fleshed out the scenery of all the areas that you visit, man. Especially like right in the beginning when you get to the area where that big dragon is, and then you kill the big red kite. I think it's a kite dragon. He's kind of like up on that platform, and you got to fight the big guys to get up to him. You kill the dragon, and then you go inside and fight Ornstein. I think it is the dragon slayer, right? That red dragon. That fight was kind of shitty too, man. That dragon will knock you right off, dude. That platform, his tail will swipe you, and boom, it'll knock you like a football, man. Just punch you into the atmosphere. But that castle that you're fighting in front of when you're fighting that red kite dragon, that bridgeway leading up to it, and then that whole thing like platform and the staircase and that big cathedral looking ass castle, dude. Gorgeous, man. Gorgeous, dude. Hades Tower of Flame, dude. Amazing, bro. I just, like I said, even in Dark Souls 3 and in Elden Ring, because there was some beautiful scenery in Elden Ring 3. Don't get me wrong, bro. I don't want to knock Elden Ring for the scenery, but some of the castles, man, and some of the areas in Dark Souls 2 just felt way cooler than the other games, man. And I don't know why that is, dude, but I liked it, man. It was just straight eye candy for me, dude. I loved it. It's so many times I would get distracted by that shit. Like, whoa, I'd kind of like slowly pan the camera around, like, holy crap, dude, look at the detail in this place, man. It was great, dude. It was great. The bad, dude, the NPC quest lines, man. I just got to put that out there, bro. The NPC quest lines in Dark Souls 2, dude, are just a nightmare, man. The locations that they have some of these NPCs, you never even think about it, bro. Like, there's an NPC in an area. I don't even remember the area now, bro. But it's where you get the fucking frog-looking things with the big eyes and shit. And they spray that mist and it'll curse you and take away your health bar. It's like in a little green forest area. There's like abandoned buildings, kind of like ruins, kind of just broken down or whatever. There's an NPC in one of those ruins, bro, like upstairs, like just hanging out. What the at least in some of the NPCs in Dark Souls 1, they're kind of like, you get into an area in a room or whatever, and yeah, there's that one dude in the depths or whatever that's like in the barrels in the corner, and you gotta like break all the barrels to get to him. Or the one dude just on your way to the Kappa demon that's like in the room by himself. He got like locked in there. There's a couple of instances in Dark Souls 1 where it's like, well, how did this guy get here? Like, how do you find this dude or whatever? But I feel like in Dark Souls 2, man, like, not only are the quest lines convoluted, man, but they're drawn out, but like finding some of these guys, like, oh my god, bro, like, why do you? There's a lot of back and forth. You know what I mean? That's another thing I felt like in Dark Souls 2, man. You gotta jump back and forth to areas that you've already been in. You know, as to where you don't really have to do that too much in Dark Souls 1. I mean, here and there you kind of do, but for the most part, it's kind of like you run through, you get to the next spot, you keep going. If you need to like level up or your weapon or whatever, then you have to go back to a specific blacksmith, just depending on what you want to do with the weapon that you're considering. But as far as like progressing storyline and stuff like that, there's not too much where you do back and forth. There is here and there, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like it's way more in Dark Souls 2. That one king, I don't remember his name though, but like you cannot kill that one king until you get all 4 of the giant souls. And there's a lot of back and forth on that as well. It's like, yeah, that's true. That's true. You do get some powerful weapons in endgame, and it's like I've already spent all this time and effort upgrading this one sword or these sets of weapons that I'm using, and it's like, oh man, that's cool, but like now I gotta go do this and that to upgrade this to figure out what I need for this and that, and I gotta go grind more if I want to upgrade this weapon, this fire sword or whatever it may be at the end of the game. And it's like, I want to just finish this. Like, I don't want to go and mess around upgrading more weapons, bro. I just want to continue. Yeah, I get you on that, bro. And it does become useful in New Game Plus, but New Game Plus, like, the difficulty is cranked up, so getting that late game weapon, it's going to hit just as hard as that weapon that you spent so much time and effort upgrading to almost max level. So yeah, it's like, what do I just bite the bullet and try to upgrade this and wind up becoming overpowered mid game through my second playthrough and just breeze through the rest of it, like, or do it? And it's a lot of effort. It is a lot of effort. You gotta know these things going in, so that way you don't commit so much to one weapon before you get to what you're looking for. So that way, when you do pick up that weapon, whatever it may be, you already have the resources to go and just drop stacks, and just upgrade it, max it out, and then it becomes worth it, And then you go into New Game Plus, and it's already maxed out. You just breeze right through it, But then it takes away the difficulty, like, oh, I breeze through this, it's no problem, You got to change it up, That's why I kind of wanted to lean towards one build the first playthrough, and then change the builds for the second playthrough, and see how it feels, versus a strength build versus a dexterity build kind of thing. You know what I mean? Blue Sentinel's Castle. It's like Zelda Wind Waker with the gigantic architecture that gives a divine vibes, dude. Dude, Wind Waker is still to this day one of my favorite Zelda games, man. I streamed it. It was great. I was really sad when I finished it because I didn't want to finish it. But it's the original version where you have to go on the quest to find all the Triforce pieces. Not the pussy version where they took that shit out for the Wii U or whatever. Fuck that, dude. I want the full experience. Yeah. It was my third or fourth time completing Wind Waker. That was my fourth time beating Wind Waker. It was good. Oh man, I'll never get tired of Wind Waker, dude. Actually, my son started playing Wind Waker. Kevin, middle son, he just turned 15, and he thinks he can take on the world of Wind Waker. Good luck, bud. Shit, how old was I when I first beat Wind Waker? For sure, high school. I don't know, like 16, 17? Shit, probably even younger than that. Fuck, I can't remember. Yeah, I think even younger than that, dude. I'll never get tired of Wind Waker. Ocarina of Time, Same thing. And one game that I've always wanted to play in the Zelda franchise, which I've never played, bro, and dude, I'm dying to play it, dude, is Majora's Mask. I have the manga. Check it out, bro. This fucking thing's almost as thick as a phone book, dude. Look at this. Look at that shit, bro. The animation in this thing, bro. Look at this shit. I want to read through it, bro. This Majora's Mask. I wonder if reading through this before I play it will help. Knowing what to do and where to go and who to talk to and stuff. Dude, look at some of this. Some of these drawings, dude. That's sick, bro. Look at that. Majora's Mask, man. I saw a buddy, a childhood buddy, play through some of that. Look at that. I saw a childhood buddy play through some of it, but very little, very little of it. That's dope, dude. I have Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Same size book. Go back in there. Go back in there. Go back in there. There we go. Only really good castle was Stormville. Yeah. Academy was okay. I kind of liked the Academy, bro. The Academy was kind of cool, man. It was a little bit of a nightmare, but it was kind of cool. Yeah, I remember Stormville Castle pretty well. I honestly, bro, I feel like I didn't explore Stormville Castle enough. And I kept wanting to go back, but I was getting sidetracked by other things and this and that and trying to progress through and getting the sites of grace and all that I feel like I did miss quite a bit in Stormville Castle. Yeah. Shaded Woods. Isn't that Dark Souls 2 where you fight the ogre? You fight that first ogre before you get to the first bonfire? That wasn't too bad. King Vendrick. Yeah, is that his name? The one king that you can't kill until you get all the giant souls or whatever? A bird lady, Dark Souls 2. She's locked behind the door. The key to open the door. There's the lion enemy that turned to stone. A fragment branch to turn him. Yeah, I don't remember that. You know, it was between Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3 that I was obviously playing Dark Souls 2, but a lot of that game felt like it was a blur, dude. I had put Dark Souls 2 up on this pedestal because I felt like what I learned in Dark Souls 1 was going to carry through. And I had mentioned this earlier in the stream. You know, I had all these expectations for Dark Souls 2 going in, and then when I quickly realized that it wasn't the same game, I felt very disappointed, you know. So a lot of my time was spent kind of dogging the game and talking smack and, you know, kind of like being annoyed that I have to play the game. You know, luckily I had excuse me. Luckily I had some really good helpful people in chat, you know, that knew what they were talking about, and there was some trolling here and there, but for the most part I felt like I had good guides helping me out in Dark Souls 2. Because honestly, without their help, man, I would have never made it through that game, dude. It like I said, not necessarily the fact that it was a hard game, because the difficulty felt very similar to Dark Souls 1. It's just the fact that the gameplay, you know, like the fighting, the combat, some of the boss fights, they just didn't feel the same, you know. Even though that like a lot of the environments and the areas and stuff felt very beautiful, very, you know, like thought out, you know. I had such high expectations going in that when those expectations were shattered, I started whining about it, you know. And I think that really diluted what could have been an amazing game. Bird lady that trades the NPC for boss souls. Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. She winds up going back to Majulia. Yeah, you see her up against that one wall or whatever. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Majora's Mask is awesome, dude. Wild Bear, I would love to play Majora's Mask. Actually, I have access to it now. A while back, I picked up one of those retro gaming handheld consoles. What's up, Sirish? Welcome to the stream. We're just sitting here chit chatting, kind of going over the Dark Soul games, from software games in general. But no, I was saying, I finally have access to Majora's Mask. I picked up one of those retro gaming consoles. It looks like a Game Boy, but it's got analog sticks and it runs like emulators and stuff. And one of the emulators is Nintendo 64. And one of the games in the Nintendo 64 library is Majora's Mask. So it's a small screen, you know, but I finally have access to it, bro, and I want to play it. I really want to play it, man. But that's one of the games where you just have to sit down, you know, and focus on it. You know, that's just the way Legend of Zelda games are. Same thing with Dark Souls. You know, you don't play it to, I don't know, kill a little time. You know, unless you're a masochist. And you like the torture, you got to sit down and focus and pay attention and really get into it. So yeah, I can't wait to start Majora's Mask, bro. It's gonna be amazing. And I have access to almost the entire library of Nintendo, the Famicom system, the Super Nintendo, the Super Famicom, almost the entire library of Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, like 30 or 40 titles in Game Boy DS, almost the entire library of Sega Genesis. So it's all together, it's like 20,000 games, bro. You're running on this little emulator, dude. It's freaking sick, man. I don't think it's dead. I think it's at like 30 or 40% or something. But yeah, I've been playing that thing a lot. Part on the top is about From Software. Have you tried Metro Exodus? No. Serious? No, I haven't tried Metro Exodus. It sounds familiar. Hold on, let me look it up. Because that sounds familiar. I haven't played it, but I think I know what you're talking about. Hold on. Yeah, no, I haven't played it. Is it good? It kind of looks like, well, I'm just scrolling through here. I'm not actually clicking and watching anything, but it kind of looks like that game Lost Planet on the Xbox 360. You ever play Lost Planet? You had Lost Planet 2. I never played part 2, but part 1 was badass. It kind of looks like that. I could be wrong because, like I said, I'm just kind of scrolling through here and looking at thumbnails. Not really. Oh, with like the monsters and stuff. Yeah, like the monsters look similar. 4 years ago. Oh, this one says 6 years ago. It's been out for a while. I'll look into that. That looks interesting. Badger was saying earlier, he's like, man, you got me all chatty, bro. I just can't. Dude, that's what these streams are for, to just sit here and shoot the shit, you know, just shoot the breeze, catch up with each other, you know, just hang out, you know, make it a little personal, you know. What's up, Solar Sailor? Welcome to the stream. What's going on? Just sitting here shooting the shit, having a good time. The bird lady doesn't go to Majority. She stays in Brightstone Cove. What? Then I'm thinking of a different NPC then. Oh yeah, that you the scorpion dude that you wind up fighting his wife or whatever, right? Is that the dude you're talking about? He gives you a good ring, doesn't he? If I remember correctly. Like, you don't fight him. You go and talk to him, and then he's like, yeah, you gotta help me kill my wife, man. She's fucking crazy. And then you wind up summoning him into the fight, and then he winds up helping you defeat her, and then you go back and talk to him in the Shaded Woods, right? And he gives you that badass ring or whatever, if I remember correctly. That shit, dude, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? I think it was Devin that was telling me. It's like, yeah, you got to go kill his ex-wife or some shit. I don't remember. I'm like, what? What do you mean? And then we wound up doing it. I'm like, oh my God, bro. There's like some Jerry Springer drama happening here. Oh, the real guy. He was on the chat as well. Devin? You mean Devin? Dude, Devin was... He was my shining light through Dark Souls 2, man. He really helped me out a lot, man. There was a couple of others that were, you know, real legends, man. Solid Rocks helped me through that playthrough. And honestly, dude, all credit to them, man. I might have been the one here controlling the game and playing the game. But honestly, bro, if it wasn't for these people in chat helping me out through the game, bro, I would have never made it through Dark Souls 2, man. I feel like I would have been able to get through Dark Souls 3. Because it's not that confusing, you know, back and forth. There is some, like in Dark Souls 1, there is some back and forth here and there that you have to do. But it feels like it's way more convoluted in Dark Souls 2, man, than any of the other games. After the From Software games, if you play Metroid Exodus, is the best. Alright, best protagonist is like so good. Sad ending for the hero, huh? Trip Out. Yeah, I've never played it, and I'm pretty sure I've seen a little gameplay of it. I could be wrong, but it looks familiar. That's the only reason I'm like, wait a minute. I think I know what this game is. But that other game that I was talking about, Lost Planet, that was a good game. Fumbles and I beat that one together. That was a damn good game. Let's see. Okay, NPC quest lines are drawn out and confusing. Yeah, okay, this next bullet point, bro, is pretty much what sealed the deal for me in thinking that Dark Souls 2 was dog shit compared to Dark Souls 1. Right off the bat, the camera felt clunky. In Dark Souls 1, the camera moved very freely, very smooth. In Dark Souls 2, it did not feel the same. The camera felt like it was your enemy, honestly. It was always like the auto lock would always turn itself off. You know what I mean? Actually, more in Dark Souls 2 than any of the other Soul games, man. And I don't know why. I just the camera controls, they did not feel smooth. It felt very clunky, and it kind of ruined it for me a little bit, because that was the first thing I noticed. You know, it is what it is, bro. But I just feel like my expectations were way too high going into that game, and when they were crushed, like I said, man, I pouted about it, and I spent the entire game pouting about it, you know, like this game sucks and this is bullshit and I don't know if I'm ever gonna come back and play this again, you know, all kinds of shit. And it's, to be honest, some of the boss fights some of them did feel like, I don't know, kind of gimmicky, you know, like the pursuer, you know, like why do you have to fight him so many times, dude? I killed this motherfucker. Like why do I gotta fight him again? What's the one dude's name that you gotta fight? Is it the Fume Knight? Where he goes into phase 2 and like he starts using fire and shit. I struggled with that a little bit. I didn't particularly like that fight. There's a couple of fights that I didn't really like. I can't remember the name of that one dragon, but he's back in the back corner, and it's like a small arena, and there's like these just random stone pillars, and he's kind of like laying in the middle of the arena like sleeping, and then you walk in and he like wakes up and he starts like flying around and throwing poison and all this shit, dude. That fight sucked a lot. I don't remember the name of the stupid dragon, but I remember the damn fight, bro. And that, Jesus, man. Let's see, the run back to the frigid outskirts. Do I need to say more? Oh my god, bro. What a fucking nightmare that was, dude. Those like fucking spawns of Satan that would come after you in the blizzard. They were like horses or some weird fucking unicorn mutant freak. I don't remember exactly what they were. Weren't they like horse creatures or something? They would come out of the freaking blizzard and just attack you. Sometimes there would be 2 or 3 of them at once. Oh my god, bro. And then you get to the end of all of that and then you have to fight 2 bosses. Like, son of a bitch, bro. What the fuck is this game? Dude. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, lightning unicorns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's horrible. Can't remember his name. You summoned him a lot, and he invaded you. Oh, the one dude that was trolling me. Yeah. I can't remember that dude's name either. Fuck, it's like around the tip of my tongue. I know who you're talking about. We were in that one area and I summoned him, remember? And I was like looting stuff and we had killed all the little guys and I was in there like looting stuff and he came up behind me and like backstabbed me right in the back. I was like, you son of a bitch. That's it, he's done?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. You have to remember, GT. I do remember. He trolled me a couple of times, bro. The first time, bro, I was like, you son of a bitch. He's like, sorry, man. I'm just trying to be funny, bro. Just playing. I'm like, fuck you, man. Don't do that shit again, dude. I swear to God, man. And then I started kicking his ass, remember? He would invade me and then I kicked his ass a couple of times. And then after that, we started helping me or whatever. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. My first completion of Dark Souls 2 was the Hexer build. It was so good. Using the Sunset Staff and a Dark Infusion was so powerful. Dark Orb hits. That's hard. That's the Great Sword. Oh, no shit. That's one thing that I've been saying since I completed Dark Souls, the first run. Is I wanted to get into building, you know, like a good mage build. And I've yet to do it. And I still want to. And that's kind of like why I like Night Rain. One of the reasons I like Night Rain, because you could choose that class and kind of get a feel for it. And that's kind of why I want to use Night Rain, is to get used to having a mage build and, you know, ranged attacks instead of getting up in the face and just hand-to-hand combat, you know. But that's cool, man. That's cool. Sunset Staff, huh? Smelter Demon or the Fume Knight. Fume Knight was just, oh my god, bro. And then what was it? What was the last dude in that? I fought that guy, and he's got that big samurai sword, and it's kind of like up in that balcony area, where that one side is just open windows or whatever. I'm trying to remember. That dude was a fucking pain in my ass to beat, bro. I fought that dude and fought that dude and fought that dude. I think it was like a total of 3 streams before I finally killed that guy. Sir Alone. Yeah. Yes, dude. That's his fucking name, bro. Sir Alone. Oh my god, bro. What a nightmare that fucker was, dude. I got through the frigid outskirts before I beat that guy. That guy was a pain in the ass, dude. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Fuck, man. No, I think Inshin was harder than him in Sekiro. Yeah. I think Inshin would have smoked that guy within 5 minutes. You put those 2 bosses in the same room, Inshin would have killed that fucker in 5 minutes, dude. Maybe less. Yeah. Ravioli, pocketoli. Francis of the Filth right there. Shin is the poison dragon from the Sunken City DLC. Yeah, that's his name. Yep. Shin, is that his name? Okay. That's the dragon I'm talking about, dude. I think I fought that dragon for 2 streams. 3 streams? Something like that. That dragon sucked. He's always taking off on you, bro, and flying around and shit and throwing out that poison, bro, and just, oh my god, dude. Bullshit. You never finished the 3rd DLC for Dark Souls 2? Oh. Saved yourself a lot of heartache, man. Yeah, lightning unicorns. Got my trophy and left. There you go, man. You know, if that's what you wanted, then mission accomplished, dude. Vikings fan. Yes, dude. Yes, bro. Yes. There you go. Vikings fan. Yeah, he started out as a troll. He kept fucking with me and I couldn't kill him. And then he's like, here, you know, I'll show you, come follow me. And, you know, he'd follow and I'd follow him and he'd do this and that. And then he'd troll me again. And I'm like, this motherfucker, man. You want to becoming a good guide, man. A little bit of a troll, but Slaughter and Noobs was, his name is a summon. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nice, man. Hey, that's good looking out, bro. Going back and checking that out, dude. Hell yeah. That counts as watch time. You just helped me out there, bro. That's 07. Yeah. If you beat Sir alone with getting hit, he'll actually kill himself once you get him down to 5% health or something like that. Yeah. So I just saw that video, dude, what you're talking about. If you can get through that whole fight without being hit one time, it's like a big disgrace. You know what I mean? Like he kills himself. He does Harry Carey, bro. He kills himself right in front of you. Yeah. There's no way I would get that inning. And somebody was telling me about it. I think it had to have been Devin and maybe even Vikings fan. They're like, hey, you can get unlock a special cutscene if you can beat this guy without getting hit. And I'm like, fight this guy without getting hit? Are you fucking crazy, dude? That was another fight that I didn't think I was gonna figure out, bro. That was a tough fight, man. That shit sucked, dude. God, dude. And the run back for that fight kind of sucks too, man, because it was kind of like that gauntlet of mobs going through with those like What were they? Those freaking things spitting out the fire from the sides and shit, bro. That run back kind of sucked too, but not as bad as the frigid outskirts, man. No way, dude. Wish I had the Mad Warrior set from Dark Souls 2. Came back to Dark Souls 3. Yeah, there's. I saw a video on this, man. And what was it? The knight armor. You can see the progression of how it looked from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2 to Dark Souls 3. It would have been cool to see that the Mad Warrior set from what it looked like in Dark Souls 2 and how they would have like made it, improved upon it in Dark Souls 3. That would have been cool. Yeah, to see that shit. That would have been dope. Wild Bear saved you, if I remember correctly. He just said, try roll to the right. And you beat Sarah on the next attempt. Was it Wild Bear? The little one said, the little minion said it too, and she's laughing. Ravioli, ravioli, pocket-oli. That's a Francis of the Fifth quote right there, buddy. Yes, sir. Yeah, big shout out to Wild Bear, man. True, that was me. Remember, I would be like fighting a boss, and then Wild Bear would finally like pop in, say hi. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Hey, ¿qué pasa? And he's like, all right, I'm here. You can beat the boss now. And then I'd wind up beating the boss. He's like a good luck charm, dude. Mad Warrior set was fire. You're right. Let's do a Dark Souls 2 playthrough. I'll be your ultimate guide for the base game and every DLC. Now that I've played through it once, I think I'll be fine on the second playthrough. Honestly, I'm being out of pocket with you guys right now, man. I want to start them all over again. From the first one to the second one to the third one to Bloodborne. All of it, dude. The only reason that I haven't pulled the trigger is because I desperately want to play Demon Souls, dude. I'm saving money here, little here and there as I can, so I can save up to get the game. Because I still want to play. Don't get me wrong. I still want to play Ghost of Tsushima. I still want to play Black Myth Wukong. I still want to play Armored Core 6. You know, these are games that I desperately want to play, bro. But I'm a little light on the funds, man. You know, so I want to play Demon Souls so bad, dude. So fucking bad, dude. It hurts, brother. It hurts. But yeah, don't worry, man. I will get back to Dark Souls 2. It is going to happen. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. We're going to go through them again. But because I've done a strength build and a dex build in Dark Souls 1, I'm going to do a mage build in Dark Souls 1 this next run. And if I mess it up, then we'll just start again. And I'm going to keep restarting until I figure it out, dude. Until I figure it out. And boom, I'll get it. You know? I'll make the perfect mage build. I don't know if this is wrong, but honestly, if in that mage build, I still want to be able to parry. That might get pushed aside because I don't know how those two work well together. So yeah, 07 Wild Bear. Good shit. Super Mario Sunshine stream when? Well, that's the thing, bro, is that I've already streamed Super Mario Sunshine, but Super Mario Sunshine is such a good game. I'd be willing to play it again, dude. For sure. Oh, hell yeah, bro. Super Mario Sunshine? Dude, I don't even think it was 10 streams that I finished that game. And I got all the stars too, all the star shines. I got all of them. Or almost all of them. Yeah, Sunshine, Mario Sunshine is one of my favorite Mario games. You're gonna laugh though. I don't know how funny this is to some of you, but I've never, ever played Mario 64, dude. Never. Well, I can't say never. I've never gotten to the first boss. I start playing it, and I lose interest. I feel like if I maybe have gotten to play it on the 64 when I was younger, when it first came out, that I would have a little more of a connection to it, like I do Super Mario Sunshine, or any of the others Mario games. Honestly, dude, I can't even tell you how many times that I've played through and beaten Super Mario World. Actually, the first thing I did when I got that little Pocket emulator, the little Game Boy that I was just talking about, and it has all the Super Nintendo games or whatever, the first thing I did was I beat Super Mario World. Oh, Super Mario World and Super Mario 3. I beat Super Mario World in just over 4 hours, and Super Mario 3 was just over about 5 hours. And between the two Super Mario games, Super Mario World and Super Mario 3, I think Super Mario 3 is my favorite. Dude, that game is fucking hard, bro. Some of the stages, man, the boss fights are easy, man. You go in there, you kill the boss, 10 seconds, boom, complete. The castles, the warships are a little difficult, but once you understand like where the cannon fires are coming from and this and that, it's a breeze to get through them. And killing the bosses is super easy, bro. It's super freaking easy. It's just some of the levels, and like some of the later game areas when you're up in the clouds and shit, and then that ice zone at the end of the freaking game, bro. Oh my god, dude. And then Bowser, the gauntlet to get up to Bowser's castle and shit in Super Mario 3, bro. Those warships that you get where the tanks are rolling across the ground and shit. P-wing every warship. No, that's cheating, bro. I've done that a couple. How many times I've played through it? Yeah, I've gone that route a couple of times, but it's boring. It's boring. I like doing the risky jumps and making people's anxiety just shoot through the roof, bro. I freaking love it. Then give us a part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Dude, don't tempt me, man. Mario Sunshine was great. It was really good. Actually, I have it for the Switch, bro. The Super Mario All-Stars 3D. It's Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. And of the 3 games, I've only played Super Mario Sunshine on that. Because I played Super Mario Galaxy, but when it was on the Wii, and you got the Wii controls and all that, and I don't know how that's going to transfer over on the Switch controls. I never, like, how does that work? Like, there's no sensor bar to move around and stuff. I never tried it, so it could be good, it could be shit, I don't know. And again, like I said, I've tried playing Mario 64 before, dude, and I just can't get into it. I'm ashamed to admit it. I really am, because I'm a fucking huge Mario fan, dude. I mean, look at my fucking shirt, dude. I changed my shirt, but I got big fucking poster of Mario right there, man. I got fucking Bowser on my desk, dude. I'm a huge Mario Brothers fan, dude. I love them all. So to sit here and tell you all that I've never played Mario 64, I never had the stomach to get through it. It's kind of sad, bro. It's kind of sad, because apparently that's like one of the staples in the franchise, man. Like where it really all started to take off. Oh, Mario RPG, bro. I've never played that one either. And that's another one that's on that Game Boy emulator thing that I have or whatever. Mario RPG is on there. I'd like to try that. That could be fun. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll get the tripod for the other camera and set it up right here on the desk, man, and I could play it right here for a stream. Access to all kinds of games on that thing, dude. Let's see, we're still on the ugly for Dark Souls 2. Combat feels slow at times. Yeah, some of the combat, some of the fight, like I said, some of the fights, they felt gimmicky. They felt really drawn out and slow, like they were trying to get the most out of the fight, and it's just and a lot of back and forth. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth in Dark Souls 2, man. It's tough. Especially if you've never really played, if you've never played the game before and you're kind of relying on people giving you instructions, and you got the stream delay, and it's like you're trying to figure out where to go, and bless their souls, people in chat are like trying to like type as fast as they can, keyboard or whatnot, and it's like trying to give you just general instructions or maybe even vague instructions on where to go and what to do next. And it's like you got that lag. You're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna get mixed up. You're gonna get turn the wrong corner. Shit's gonna happen. And it's like you look over in chat and you're like, oh, I should have gone the other way. I thought about it. I looked that way, but I thought that this was the direction. You wind up making the wrong turn. Shit could end bad. So, but yeah, those are the bullet points I have for Dark Souls 2. The good rings feel like they make a difference. Scenery is amazing. The bad NPC quest lines are drawn out, confusing. The camera feels clunky. The ugly run back to the frigid outskirts. Like I have that shit in bold, man. That shit sucks so bad. Combat feels slow at times, and a lot of the back and forth between, through the map, having to jump here, having to go there, having to come back over here, talk to this guy. You got to go kill these freaking bosses. You got to go kill those giants. You got to go do this. You got to go do that. It's like a lot of back and forth. So, yeah, Dark Souls 2 in general, I feel like if I had just gone in with a clean slate, with no expectations and just play it as its own standalone game, I feel like maybe I wouldn't have been so harsh on it. There's no way to tell because, as I said before, I kind of bitched and complained and moaned and groaned about it. It doesn't feel the same. This is weird. I don't know. This is dumb. I don't like it. I'm not gonna play it again. I could honestly say, dude, I would go and play it again. I really would, especially after playing Lies of P. And I think I even said it during the stream at one point. I was like, I'd rather be playing Dark Souls 2 than this bullshit, man. What the fuck is this Lies of P shit? This is fucking stupid. Oh, man, I couldn't get through Lies of P, man. That game was... I did, though. I finished it. I got it. And now they got the DLC out, bro. And it's like, Badger... I think he asked in Discord. Did you, Badger? You're like, are you going to get the new DLC for Lies of P? It dropped today. And I'm like, fuck that game. Fuck that game and its DLC. You can stick that DLC right up your ass, stupid game developer. I don't know who even made that freaking game. No. Nope. I'd probably play another Crab's Treasure before I played Lies of P again, dude. And another Crab's Treasure was... It was cute. It was a cute game. Another Crab's... you had... kind of like a Souls-like feel to it, where if you died, you dropped all your stuff. You had the different shells that you had, different abilities that you could use, and some of the boss fights were, actually, you know what? Some of the boss fights in Other Crab's Treasure were kind of cool, man. They were kind of cool, but I just can't say the same for Lies of P, dude. I just can't. Kitten is asleep on me. Kiki. This is a problem because I want to get some oatmeal. Oh, we need to change that song. Did I finish my coffee? Oh, almost. So going into Dark Souls 3, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. I gotta be honest with you guys. It was kind of hard for me to come up with bullet points for bad and ugly. I got a couple for good, and I got one bullet point for bad, and I didn't get anything down for ugly because it felt like what Dark Souls 3 was a combination of the other two games. And it kind of just all came together in this just melting pot of sweet goodness, bro. It was like the best of everything. You know what I mean? And when I rage quit Dark Souls 1, a good buddy of mine and Badger, he had suggested, dude, try Dark Souls 3, man. It's not as hard. There's more bonfires, more places to rest and stuff like that. It's not as difficult a game. I started Dark Souls 3 and I immediately found out that was bullshit. It's just as fucking hard. But had it go.
It went a little better. They gave me a harder test to look at like
25.
overall.
You gotta raise that score up.
I do. I scored high on my math.
Scored high on math. Well, you've always been good at math, so that's good. At any public library, they have a book that you can go and get. I don't know if they have it there, or like they have some kind of study group or whatever that you can. Oh, there you go. I think that's what your mom was saying the other day. That's good. That's good. But you want to aim for higher than that, son.
Yes.
You want to aim for higher than that.
I want to aim so much higher.
Yeah.
On my math, I got a 40.
That's good. That's good. That's one thing I got to give you, man. You're way better at math than I ever was. You know, I don't know where the fuck you must have gotten that from your mother, because I know you didn't get that from me. But that's good. That's good. Just work on it. I believe in you. You got this.
When he saw my test score,
Good. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Congratulations. Just work at it. You got it. Hell yeah. Actually, you know what? You might even want to look at the library at school. They might even have that at your school. You don't even have to go to a public library. I would check.
I'll check.
Yeah, look into it. Or maybe even on the internet too. You know you want it so bad you can feel it burn deep inside. Dude, I do not ever want to see that game in my life again, dude. Lies of P can suck my pee, bro. What that pee do? So we'll start getting through some of these bullet points that I have for Dark Souls 2, and we'll kind of wing it the rest of the way, because I remember the game. It's still fresh in my mind. It's just kind of hard to come up with bullet points for... I mean, they're there, you know, if I sit here and really nitpick at it, but we'll get through that. The only bad for Dark Souls 3 is the PvP latency. See, that's one thing that I never got into in any of the Dark... Well, I can't really say didn't get into. I mean, I was forced into a couple of invasions here and there. Mostly NPCs, you know, that's just part of the game. But as far as players, like, I didn't actually go and seek out other players to fight just because I wanted to fucking bully them, you know, or just invade them, or, you know, I just didn't, I wasn't interested in PvP. And that could be something, you know, for the future when I do play through these games again, you know, is lean more into the PvP side of the game, because there is some fun to be had there, you know, like fighting other players and dominating the shit out of them. You know, it could be fun. But yeah, me and Invader were locked into each other. We had both roll, end up 5 feet away, facing the other, and he gets backstab on me. That's bullshit, because that comes down to, yeah, the latency, you know, the desyncing. So you see him roll, right? But from his perspective, you could still be standing there or whatever. You know, it's hard to say from their side, their perspective, because you can't see that. And then he goes up behind you and gets that backstab, and you're like, wow. What the yeah. I could see that. Yeah. I mean, it's just another part of the game, you know. It sucks, but unfortunately, I never got into too much of the PvP stuff. I just wasn't interested. You know, I wasn't really concerning myself. I wanted to learn how to get through the game, you know, before I felt confident enough to take on other players, you know, especially because maybe I'm wrong, but the way I thought about it is if these are old games, right? These are 10 plus, you know, years old by this point, you know, some of them even older. If these people are hanging out in this game waiting to fight other players, they're probably seasoned fucking players, dude. You know what I mean? More times than not, they're probably somebody that knows exactly what he's fucking doing. and knows how to take advantage of certain game mechanics, it's probably not going to end too well for me, you know. So learn how to get through the game, the base game first, complete the DLC, kind of get some experience under my belt, kind of know what to expect, you know, get a feel for, you know, timing or attacking, dodging, how everything feels, and then maybe going and you know, putting my hat in that ring and the PvP side of stuff, and seeing how it, you know, how it turns out. The only way to find out is to actually do it, you know. And I feel like I haven't quite gotten to that point, but I'm willing to give it a try, just to kind of like step outside of my out of my comfort zone and try to push myself to be a better player in general. Could work, could end up bad, but there's only one way to, you know, know, and is to get in there and do it. Didn't on Dark Souls 3 for that reason. Got into PvP big on Elden Ring. See, that could be fun, man. See, you got PvP on all the games, but Elden Ring, it just feels like, and I can't really say too much about it again, because I didn't really get into it in Elden Ring either. But like, they have those special arenas where like you can go and you can fight other players, dude. Like, they sat down and they thought about, okay, how could we make this better? You know, like, you know, what can we do to like draw the players in to do more PvP matches, and you know, and it feels like it was more thought out than the other games, where it's kind of just like, oh, by the way, we can also add this into the game and you can fight other players, and it's not very well put together. And like you're saying, there's latency problems where you could lose to another player and it's on some bullshit reason. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if anything, Elden Ring would probably be the one to jump in there and get a feel for the PvP action, for sure. Relena Twin Moons, Gherkins, oh well, works all the time. Regular Soul games is about learning the boss moves and reading body language so you can dodge their moves. Yeah. You got to think about it the same way as like if you're playing Metroid, like the old school Metroid games, or like even Mario. Like, you've never played a Mario game before, right? You get through the first level, boom, you die on the Goomba. It's like the first enemy that you see. Oh shit! Well, I got to jump over that guy, right? Jump over him, get to the next one. Oh, now there's two Goombas. I got to jump over them and jump over the pipe. And then, you know, there's the, and then you, oh, okay, now there's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And then there's like a power up right here. You learn the as you go, you learn how to get through it. You don't just do it all in one shot. You've never played the fucking game before in your life. Same thing with the Dark Souls games, man. You die, you spawn in. Oh crap! You know, there's this guy with the sword and the shield. This guy with the crossbow over there, and I'm gonna go kill the guy with the crossbow because he can hit me from a distance, and I can deal with the guy with the shield and the sword. You know, and then from there I can move on and get these guys over here and kind of get this guy away from these guys because this guy has a shield and these guys don't. I can hit him a lot easier. You know, and it's just working your way up one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. My problem is my thick ass skull doesn't remember the mistakes that I made, and I wind up going and making the same mistake like 100 times before I finally learn, holy shit, I can't do that anymore. Let me think of something else to do. Like fighting Instant, bro. Remember, I was trying to do the Makiri counter, but every time it was like a reflex. I would jump over him, and every time he would nail me, dude. And it's like, I gotta break this freaking habit somehow, man. Just learning, like you said, man, just learning the move sets, you know? Trying to time your attacks and you know, defense and offense accordingly. PvP is about learning every single weapon and the spell in the game and learning how to dodge all of that. PvP is wild. Yeah, so see, and you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with a strength build and with a dex build, but when you go with like intelligence and faith and stuff like that, that's when it starts being like, okay, I need to look this up. Like, I need to figure out what's going on here so I can get the best out of the situation. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now, is that I want to learn how to build an intelligence build, you know, or a faith build, and really lean on that, you know. Because I've already gotten through them, you know, with strength builds and dex builds. I did a straight dex build in Dark Souls 3, that playthrough. My first playthrough was a strength build, and I didn't get very far, and I didn't level up the way I was supposed to, and I had a bad time. The second time I played through Dark Souls, I really leaned hard on the dex build, man, and I loved it, dude. It was amazing. And I don't know if I would spend the time to do a strength build in Dark Souls 3. I think I'd go straight into a mage build, you know, like an intelligence or whatever build, just to get a feel for that. And like I said, I would just completely erase the board and start again if I fuck up, you know. If it's like, oh shit, you know, I didn't do this right, or I didn't do that right, or I didn't put the points in the right spot, you know, or whatever the case may be. If it feels like I'm not getting anywhere, or it doesn't feel like you know, like it feels like I messed up at some point, I would erase the game and start over again without even hesitating, bro. Just whatever, just to figure it out, you know what I mean? Watch videos, whatever I gotta do, even if it means having to stop midstream and pull up a guide or video or something, or some kind of Wikipedia or something, and try to figure that shit out. Yeah, I would do it. I wouldn't touch PvP with a 50-foot pole. Even in Elden Ring, you wouldn't give it a try? What if it was you and I, Scooter? You and I, me and you, no bullshit. We either agree or disagree. We either agree to heal or agree not to heal during the fight. You get your health bar and that's it, or you get all your Estus flasks and that's it. You know, just you and I, just toe to toe, bro. Would you be down? Me, you, and Blazing J. Homeboy's about it. Look at him. He wants it, bro. Like I said, I'd be willing to give it a shot. You know, throw my hat in the ring. No thanks. I'll pass. All right, I respect that. Dude. That's cool. I'm not one to back down from a challenge, man. So, you know, Blazing J or whoever, dude, you want it, brother. You let me know. You and I will square the fuck up, dude. You'll cash these fucking hands, bro. Any one of the games too, man, because I still have Dark Souls 2 on my PS4 is sitting at New Game Plus 2. Ready to fire New Game Plus 2 up now. Dark Souls 2, New Game Plus 1. Dark Souls 3, New Game Plus 1. Bloodborne, New Game Plus 1. And Elden Ring, New Game Plus 1. So pick your poison. Dude, oh my god, bro. So many people gave me shit in chat for you dropping me all that loot. Not that I give a fuck, but I thought it was funny. They're like, man, they give you a lot of in-game weapons, bro. A lot of DLC shit, man. You're like, what the fuck? All those ruins that you gave me, bro, I don't even think I used half of them. But yeah, I remember that Invader. It took a while, but we fucked that dude up. That shit was fun, dude. That shit was so fun. Yeah, I remember that very well. Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I remember that shit, man. Thank you for dropping me all that stuff too, man. You know, like I said, I'm sorry that I didn't use, like, shit, not even a quarter of it, man. I tried a few of the weapons, you know, and because I was still kind of new and not really understanding what fucking weapon arts were, what are they called? Like the Golden Vow, and are they weapon arts? No, that's the fuck, bro. Come on, I already had my cup of coffee, dude. I've been going for a couple hours already, bro. I shouldn't have brain farts, man. I got all this brain fog right now, dude. Thank you, Ash of War. Jesus Christ, you know what I meant, though. Yeah, Ash of War. You know, I was still kind of like learning that shit and not really using it to its full potential and this and that, you know, and yeah. I'm more aware now. Yeah. Weapon art is Dark Souls 2. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And you got the power stance in Dark Souls 2. And then you got two hand in Dark Souls 1. You don't really have anything like that in Sekiro. Just the prosthetic stuff. Yeah. Sekiro was good. I don't want to knock Sekiro too bad because Sekiro was good. But let's see, Dark Souls 3. There's so many bonfires in Dark Souls 3, man. Like bonfires that are like right next to each other, dude. It's like you find a bonfire and you're like, oh, cool, you know, let me rest at this bonfire. And then you get inside the building or whatever and get around the corner and there's another fucking bonfire and you're like, wasn't there just one right there? What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, it helps, you know, get around the map quickly. The map doesn't feel as connected, and you know what I mean, like not like Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls game, where everything felt like it was connected, and you know, like it just felt like one big world. Dark Souls 3 didn't really have that feeling, but it did give you the option to teleport like right off the bat. Like right out of the gate, man, you could jump to whatever bonfire that you had unlocked, which was really great. Because even though there isn't a ton of back and forth in Dark Souls 3, there was some points where you actually did have to go back, so that you had to do a little farming, or you know, you had to go and talk to this fucking NPC, or you had to go do this particular thing, that you had that ability to jump around from bonfire to bonfire early game, right off the bat, dude. And that made it a little easier. It did. Let's get down on some Elden Ring PvP anytime, dude. Big bonfire design. Exactly, bro. Like there are so many bonfires in Dark Souls 3, man. Like I can see why other people would say that Dark Souls 3 is easier, because some of the runbacks in Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls game, were tough, man. They're really tough. Like right off the top of my mind, bro. The gargoyle fight. You can only rest. There's not another bonfire close by, is there? No, it's the one in the undead bird. You got to cross the bridge. You get into the room. You got to dodge all the fucking mobs throwing fire bombs at you. Get into the room where those three guys in there. Cut around the corner. Go up the stairs. There's three more mobs there. There's like 5 mobs down at the bottom of the base of that. There's a freaking archer up at that small little tower. There's all these mobs. Then you got that one dude on the staircase that kicks the barrel down at you. You don't. Granted, he only does it the one time, right? But oh no, that's to fight the Taurus demon. What the fuck am I talking about? To fight the gargoyles, you gotta run from the bonfire where Andre is, and then across the bridge and up into the church, up the stairs to fight that freaking Black Knight with the buckler shield and the freaking rapier, son of a bitch, poking you the whole time. And once you get past all that, then there's fucking Granddaddy Kush in there with his fucking 50 minions. Little bastards come out, and there's like 50 of them in there. Dude all dancing around with his fucking the fucking pitchfork thing, man. You know, casting spells and shit. You manage to run past all of that. Then you get up to the gargoyles. They kill you within the first 2 seconds of walking to the door, because I don't know if you remember, but the gargoyles will jump right at you at the fucking door. So if you roll to the right, you fall off. And if you the only thing is to run straight in or like dodge left, so you don't get hit, and you have to time it right. It's kind of hard to time it right when the fucking smog is still right in your face from going through the door. So you die, and then guess what? You gotta run all the way the fuck back, dude. Another run back through Dark Souls that was tough was fighting the 4 kings. You gotta run all the way back from Firelink Shrine. That was I don't have that written down here, but that's just going off of memory, dude. Like Some of the runbacks in Dark Souls were long and tedious, bro. But see, you didn't have that problem in Dark Souls 3 because there was fucking bonfires everywhere, dude. Like, everywhere. And it made it a lot easier, dude. It really did. So, you know, and honestly, next bullet point for the good is boss fights, man. I feel like some of the boss fights in Dark Souls 3 were just epic as fuck, dude. The Crystal Mage, I mean, yeah, she does the spams the teleporting, boom, 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 boom. You know, she teleports and then she does the clones or whatever. She like clones herself or blah blah blah. That was kind of annoying. Let's see, another boss that might have been annoying. The two giants that you got to fight in what's it called? You go, fuck, what was the name of that place, dude? It's like you got to raise the gates or whatever, and it's all water and shit. And you got the one giant on one side, and the other giant in the mud pit over there with the slugs and shit. Like, you having to fight those two giants, bro. The one in the water isn't so bad because it's only like ankle deep water. But the giant that's like in the mud that you have to fight where the slugs are, dude, like, oh my god, bro, that was annoying as shit. There's a couple of boss fights in Dark Souls 3 where they were a little annoying. They were kind of tough, but for the most part, I didn't really feel like they were gimmicky at all, dude. I really didn't feel like none of the boss fights in Dark Souls 3 were like too drawn out, you know. And hey, what's up, mom? Welcome in. Long and tedious. Title of your sex tape, dude. That's the title of the next stream in OnlyFans, bro. How did you know that? How did you guess that? How did you know that I have an OnlyFans? I'm late. Are you done? No. Actually, today is a just chatting stream. We're 3 hours? Jesus Christ, dude. Are you serious? Wow. It doesn't feel like we've been sitting here chatting for 3 hours, dude. That's great. No, mom, no. We're just shooting the breeze, talking. I got bullet points I got written out here for all the Dark Soul games that I've played. I like I said, I wasn't able to get through the bad and the ugly bullet points for Dark Souls 3 because, like I said, the game is still very fresh in my memory, and it's I mean, some of the hitboxes like, okay, so you got your enemy's sword, right? And he comes and he chops you with it. Bacha! Right? But like the hitbox, it's not just the sword that hits you, bro. It's like this fucking shit right here, bro. It's like the size of this motherfucker, and it's like if you're anywhere near the sword when you try to dodge or whatever, or you're like, you think you're out of the way, that sword comes down and he hits you, you're fucked, man. You're not getting away from that. That's one thing that I mean, that's pretty much across all the Dark Soul games, is the hitboxes are kind of funky, right? And honestly, it didn't feel like that in Elden Ring. The hitboxes felt very precise in Elden Ring, very accurate. You know what I mean? But I think it was worse in Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 1, you know, you did kind of have that, but way more in Dark Souls 2 than Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 did have those issues, but I feel like the quality of the boss fights in Dark Souls 3 trumps that. Like, it doesn't matter because the boss fights in Dark Souls 3 are that good. Just amazing. Dark Souls 3 has the best boss fights in my opinion. Yeah, dude. Elden Ring has all those fake two-phase bosses where they go to phase 2 and half health. Like, there's a couple of bosses that go to phase 2 not even at half health, like before half health, dude. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing to me, man? You stupid game, you know? Like, you expect it to happen, you know? Like, all right, maybe this guy's gonna have a phase 2, you know? And you start chipping away at his health bar, and then freaking ignites his sword or something. You're like, whoa, that was early. yeah. Rykard Rykard was like that. Right, where he started throwing that shit to you. Those like lightning bolts that would stick in the ground and shit. And then he threw those big old slams. Fucking ground would explode and shit. Like, Rykard was actual phase 2. Yeah. That guy was a little annoying. I struggled with him for a little bit. I think it was 2 streams. I struggled with him. On the 3rd stream, I kicked his ass. You beat the snake and then he appears. Oh, dude. Oh. Yeah. I can't really think of an instant where if I think about Dark Souls 2, I can think of a couple of examples where the hitboxes are just dog shit. But in Elden Ring, not so much. Not so much. Like I said, the hitboxes on the enemy weapons and they felt very accurate. Dark Souls 2, I don't know if you remember. Okay, so the Pursuer. Remember having to fight the Pursuer in that first area where the ballistas are? If that son of a bitch catches you in the right way at the right angle, it'll do like a backstab animation, and you're like, how? What? And not just him. Like, there were other NPCs, like mobs, just regular mobs, you know, just little piss ants that you're trying to fight, and you're like, how big is the hitbox on this guy's tiny ass little broken sword? What the fuck is this game? You know. But I mean, that's like a common theme through these games. You know, they kind of, you got to take the good with the bad when you play games like this, because it is a love-hate relationship. You love it because it's a challenge, but you hate it because the game is somewhat broken, right? But that's the thing, is you have to learn how to work around that. You have to just get past it. And I think that's a big challenge for people. Not just the fact that the game is kind of slow paced, but at times it does feel broken, man. Some of these games, bro, like, what kind of shit is it that you're getting hit by an enemy which basically standing between you and the enemy is like a 4-foot solid pillar of concrete, bro. Like, how did this guy's weapon clip through that shit and hit me, and I'm not even standing near the fucking pillar, bro? Like, how does that happen? You know? So that's happened in Dark Souls 1, it happened in Dark Souls 2, it happened in Dark Souls 3, it even happened in Bloodborne and Sekiro a couple of times, bro. So I think it's just the game, the way the game is. Yo, what's good, Damash? Welcome in, man. Morning to you, brother. Let's get that in chat real quick. We're just sitting here shooting the breeze, man, talking about just going over the Dark Souls games. I've written some bullet points out and stuff on each game, and we've worked our way through Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, and right now we're pretty much touching base on Dark Souls 3. Again, it was hard for me to come up with bullet points for, you know, I got a couple for the good, I got one for the bad, and I got nothing for the ugly, man. Yeah, dude, just sitting here thinking about it, I don't want to say Dark Souls 3 is a perfect game, perfect Souls game. It does have its flaws. I wouldn't consider the multiple bonfire thing a flaw of the game, but it kind of does take away from the difficulty of it, just because there's less run back to certain areas. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't really consider the multiple bonfire situation in Dark Souls 3 as a bad bullet point, because it does help. It does make the game a little easier to manage, and I don't know, bro. I really can't think of any really bad or ugly bullet points for Dark Souls 3. How's the heat? Oh, dude. It's bad, bro. It's bad. Let's see. What are we at right now? It's 2:07 in the afternoon, and we are sitting at 90 degrees. Okay. It's probably because it's cloudy, but it's definitely humid, man. It's been raining off and on, sprinkling here and there the last couple of days, with it like the last week, and it's just raising the humidity, dude. And it's at points, at times, it does feel a little miserable, man. I have to agree with you, man. It's kind of hard to put that label on Dark Souls 3, because it does have its flaws, but it's nothing to where it makes you feel like the game is trolling you per se, like it does in Dark Souls 2. You know what I mean? Like actually, I think it happened to me, and I think I made a short on it in Dark Souls 2, and I was fighting that same boss fight, the Pursuer. I went to go roll when he did his he does like a stab, and you get stuck, and he'll pick you up and slam you down. And if you just time it wrong, it'll catch you, and you'll get hit by this fucking guy's special attack. And it's because the hitboxes are all wonky, bro. And it didn't feel like that in Dark Souls 3, man. It didn't. Okay, if I had to say one more bullet point for as far as the bad goes for Dark Souls 3, I think I would put the Lithorian Prince, the two Prince fight. That fight was kind of bullshit. Out of all the fights in that whole game, even against the Nameless King, bro, even all the fights, bro, I think the two Prince fight is the worst out of all of them. Even fighting that big dragon slayer bastard in that one courtyard, or that one undead dragon is like flying around in the background. Even fighting that guy didn't feel so bad. You know, like he was slow. You could time your rolls correctly, kind of get around him and kick his ass a little bit and wait for him to attack and do his thing, and just wait it out, you know, and choose when to make your attacks. Even that fight didn't feel too bad. But fighting those two princes, dude, in that one castle, what is it, the Lithorian and the, I don't remember the name of the other prince, the younger prince and the older prince fight, dude. It was kind of a pain in the ass. The DLC wasn't too bad either. Yeah, I'm trying to like run through my memory. Under thunderstorm warning for the next 2 days. Oh shit, yeah. I got a message, well, like an alert from the weather thing or whatever app that comes installed on your phone, like everyone's phone, that there's thunder clouds expected to roll in this evening. I say bring it, man. We need it, bro. We've been in like a really bad drought in our area for a long time, dude. A long time. Lorthic and Lithorian Prince. Yeah, that fight was dog shit, bro. I struggle. That's what made me rage quit Dark Souls 3 my first attempt. That fight, I could not get through that fight, bro. I could not, dude. For the life of me, I tried and I tried. I even posted a full length video on it, bro. I think it was like a 20-minute video on my channel, just fighting that fucking guy. I mean, you know, like a montage of me dying and running back and dying and running back, and the way he killed me, boom, and then it like I spawned back in and I'm running back. It was, you know, it was like a whole montage of it, dude. I must have banged my head up against the wall like 100 times trying to fight that son of a bitch, dude, and I could not get that fight, bro. Oh my god, dude. Glacier Breeze portable AC unit. It's about the size of the Fallout lunchbox, but it can cool down the bedroom in like 30 minutes. It's chargeable. You don't need to outlet. Works very well. I have this little desk fan that's like chargeable. it comes in handy in a pinch, man. Especially when I get worried about my PS5 blowing out a lot of heat, which I'm sure is normal, man. But because I got it kind of tucked away and under my desk there and on its own like little pedestal, the vent just like kicks all the heat out this way, and I just, while I'm sitting here playing, I could feel all that fucking just hot air. Just, it's kind of gross. So I'll turn on that little fan and stick it back on my little table that I have built for my PS5 down here, kind of angle it back there at the vent and kind of just blow all that hot air to the side, and it helps. But I've seen those little portable ACs that you're talking about, Blazing J. That's I think my mom had one years ago when she was living at the trailer out there, and the air conditioner was not really doing it. It was, I say air conditioner, but it was a fucking swamp cooler, and I swear to God that swamp cooler was not big enough for that trailer, dude, because it was just miserable as fuck in the summertime, dude. So she got that little portable AC thing, and you kind of like, it had like inserts that you could put it with ice and then fill it with water, and it would keep it all cool and blow cool air on you or whatever. It wasn't a very strong fan, and like you said, it was small, you know, it was little, but you know, for close range, you know, set it on your nightstand and kind of blow it at you, just point it at you and stuff. It helped. It helps. But I think it wound up burning up or whatever. The motor just, it took a shit. They're cheap, you know. Lorthic and the Lorien Prince in your first playthrough. Dude, it made me rage quit that game, bro. Dark Souls 3, I rage quit Dark Souls 3. I was like, that's it, I'm fucking done with this. No, I can't beat this boss, fuck this game. And I walked away from it. And it wasn't until I went back and I played Dark Souls, and then I played Dark Souls 2, and then I finally got to Dark Souls 3 where I had enough confidence, like, all right, I can do this. And even then I struggled a little bit, but because I was dex built, it wasn't as hard. It was manageable. This is an actual mini AC. Can turn 90 degrees room into 70 degrees. The lower about 30. Nice. Yeah. I kind of had a feeling that toast was going to do that. I had a feeling that bread wasn't good for my stomach. Like I said, man, I had a bologna sandwich the other day with the same bread, and then we had dinner like 3 hours later, and then I went to work, and dinner should not have made my stomach upset, and I'm sitting there like wondering, thinking to myself, what the fuck is making my stomach feel like this? The only thing I could come up with is because I had the bologna sandwich and I had that cheap ass bread. You know, it's like $1 something for the loaf. You know, we get 2 loaves. You know, it lasts until we got to go buy bread again whenever I get paid or whatever. You know, so it's like, you're not making sandwiches every day. You know, it'll last. So I just think that bread is just no good for my stomach, dude. Jesus. Glacier Breeze brand, way better than any swamp cooler or mini AC unit of the same size. Dude, you know, actually we used to have this refrigerated unit that... Why the fuck is my work calling me? Call him back right now. What are we doing? 3 hours and 18 minutes? Yeah, I'll call him back right now. The Temu version of stuff I mentioned. We bust out a little fan. Well, let's see. As far as Bloodborne goes and Elden Ring, I didn't have a chance to get around to making bullet points on those two. It's just mostly covering the Dark Soul games. Bloodborne is pretty much like its own thing. You know what I mean? Like it. In Dark Souls, you have the humanities, right? And Bloodborne, you have the insight. And the insight, the more insight you get, like the more the world opens up to you. The things that you didn't see that were there before, like you see now. You're like, what the doll comes to life. That big beast that hangs on the walls and some of the areas in the game. Some of the shit that, and the game does get a little more difficult the more insight that you have. The constant gun that you have in your hand is a parrying weapon, collecting healing items instead of having like a flask. Dude, some of the boss fights in Bloodborne, like almost all the boss fights in Bloodborne were just amazing. It kind of, that's, need to change that. I don't know. I kind of felt like the weapons were very limited. Somebody or a few people in chat kept telling me that when you go and do the what are they called? You do the rituals and the tombstones or whatever, and you go to like the dungeons, that you'll find special weapons in those dungeons or whatever. I never found any weapons in those dungeons, dude. And I swear I went through not all of them. I didn't go through like the higher tier ones. I just did the ones that were crucial to finishing the storyline. I guess that's why I never found those special weapons, because I didn't do the other, what are they called? Like, I don't think they're called gauntlets, right? Why didn't they text me? Why did they call me? That's weird. They always text me first. It's weird. I can't remember the name of them now. Glacier Breeze, that's seen on TV. Yeah. I don't watch TV, so I wouldn't know, dude. I can honestly say I've never seen a commercial for that shit. Or maybe I haven't. I just never paid attention to it. A humidifier, not an AC unit. Works off of evaporative cooling. Like my swamp cooler. It feels so humid in here right now, dude. Because we got the AC going. I say AC, but I mean swamp cooler. 90 to 100 degree. Yeah, same. Yeah, it's the same, dude. Actually, this week it hasn't been as hot. 90, 95. But the week before that, dude, we were seeing 105, man. Almost 110. It's fucking hot. They have AC ones. Well, I gotta use the restroom really quick, and might as well call work back and see what the hell they want. So I'm gonna put you guys on AFK really quick while I go use the restroom, stretch my legs. We still got about half an hour to go before I hit the 4-hour mark. I'm already seeing 8 likes on today's broadcast. Thank you all so much for hanging out. It's been a while since we've done one of these just chatting streams, man. I really enjoy this, man. I get to kick back and don't have to really do much, man. Just sit here and let you all carry on the conversation, man. Kind of touch on this subject and that subject. But like I said, I'll be right back. I just got to go stretch my legs, use the restroom, give work a call back to see what the hell they want. They're probably going to ask if I can go cover a shift today or something. So I might say yes. Shit's a little tight right now, so we'll see. But don't go anywhere. Make sure to hit the like button, and we'll see you guys back in a second.
You got knocked the fuck out!
No. Come on! Medic! Sheesh!
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lake of fire! Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Lake of fire! Lightning bolt! Hailstorm!
Want to know why I pulled you over? Littering.
Officer, that's not ours.
Candy bars.
I'm not gonna do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do. Freak out, man! I get him in his fun. Oh my god. Is that bad? What's that mean? Did I break it?
One of you turds is about to get smacked in the mouth. I'm gonna jack up on Mountain Dew.
What's up? What's up?
All right, cool. Thank you for your patience, folks. We are back. Like I said, I had to go use the restroom real quick and make that phone call. They weren't asking me to work today, so just be on standby just in case they need me, because there might be a situation where they need somebody to fill in. So I was like, yeah, I need the hours. So if anything, just let me know. So look at all those redeems, man. Someone's about to get slapped in the mouth. Nice. So yeah, like we were talking about Bloodborne, man. It's nothing like the other Dark Soul games, man. It does have the thing where if you die, you lose your stuff, and you die again, that stuff is gone forever. Yeah, it has that. It's got the parrying, it's got I feel like the weapon selection in Bloodborne is a little lackluster. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot to be desired. You get better access to weapons in the DLC. But like Ludwig's sword, like everybody was claiming like, oh my god, Ludwig's sword is like the greatest sword, blah blah blah. I really didn't like it too much. Yo, what's up, Devante? Welcome in, man. How you doing? Hopefully you're feeling better. Appreciate the Oreos, man. Hell yeah. We're just kind of here hanging back, chilling, talking about FromSoft games, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. We've already gone through those games, kind of touching base a little bit on Bloodborne, and then we'll get into Elden Ring next and kind of just finish off the stream, just chit-chatting or whatever. That's pretty much what we've been doing, bouncing around from topic as we discuss these games. Mainly because I'm kind of stopping myself from going back and playing through them again. Although I do want to play through Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne and all of them again. I really, really want to I want to buy Demon Souls. I want to buy Demon Souls, man, and I want to play through it so bad. I do want to play Ghost of Tsushima, like I said, and Black Myth Wukong now that I have a PS5. What's up, Kid Swarm? Welcome in, man. Good to see you, bud. Now that I have a PS5, I can play Demon Souls. I can play Black Myth Wukong, which I do want to play. And then there's Armored Core 6. I've talked about that as well. We got Scooter in chat asking when I'm going to do another playthrough of Mario Sunshine, which I'd be willing to, man. I like I said before, man, that's one of my favorite Mario games of all time. Is Sunshine. I did like Mario Galaxy, but I feel like Super Mario Sunshine was better. Did you like Dark Souls games more than Elden Cockring? I don't know, man. I've never played Elden Cockring. Sounds fun though. Did I like the Dark Souls games more than Elden Ring? Yes and no. Elden Ring was fun. The open world felt... What's a good way to put this? It kind of... It felt a little overwhelming. It did. The open world of Elden Ring kind of felt a little overwhelming. Just because it doesn't really give you a direction. Oh, it kind of does. If you sit at the site of grace, it kind of shows you the direction, kind of like a vague direction of where to go. But for the most part, you can kind of take off. You can pretty much take off in any direction you want in Elden Ring and find yourself in a bad situation very fast. What's up, Doug Filter, right? Your Ginger Hippo's pops, right? Old man. Dad. What's up, man? How's it going? Do I like Elden Ring more than Dark Souls? No. Yeah, what's up, man? Welcome. I remembered. like Dark Souls story more than what we know so far in Elden Ring. I do feel well. See, that's the thing is I know very little about the lore in Elden Ring. I know some things here and there, not really so much like where this boss came from and where that boss came from, and you know, and Queen Marika and all that stuff. You know, like there's a lot to dive into there, but I feel like the lore in Dark Souls is easier to follow. And maybe that's just because I've looked up a lot of it and playing through it a couple of times. I kind of know, you know, watching these videos on YouTube about the lore, kind of what it's talking about. As to where I've tried to watch videos of the lore on Elden Ring, and because most of the game felt like a blur, like I didn't really know where I was going or what I was doing for the most part. I was kind of just at the mercy of chat, like I was in Dark Souls 2. It didn't give me a chance to really dive into the lore and kind of get a feel for what the hell is going on as far as the story was going. So yeah, I kind of lean more towards Dark Souls as far as the story goes, because I really enjoy that game. And the story, the lore of it is just amazing, bro, phenomenal. But I do want to get more into the lore of Elden Ring. Like, that would be great, because it is a big world and there's a lot of story to cover. Older games have more backstory most of the time. Yeah. See, when Dark Souls came out, I guess they did have patches and stuff that they could release, but it was a more thought out game, more of a finished game than like. Well, I can't say that Elden Ring wasn't a finished game, because they came out with the DLC like a year ago. Anymore though, like they're releasing games that are unfinished, and they're over here patching them, and it didn't feel that way with Dark Souls. One thing that I did see in a recent video that I just saw is that the remaster has an advantage over the original Dark Souls game, because in the original Dark Souls game, when you went to go level up your character, your build or whatever, in the remaster it shows you how much each level is going to cost you. In the original version of Dark Souls, it didn't show you that shit, bro. It didn't show you how many souls are required to get to the next level. Say like if you wanted to drop a point in vitality, or you wanted to drop a point in stamina, or you wanted to drop a point in 2 or 3 points in stamina or strength or dexterity, what have you. Like, the game would show you how much it was going to cost you as far as souls go. In the original first version of Dark Souls, it didn't give you that. It didn't show you that, bro. Like, you just, I don't know how the hell you would determine how many souls you need to get to the next level, but I think that kind of sucks. And the fact that they added it into the remaster later is a quality of life upgrade for sure, dude. Yeah. You saw me you went back and watched the stream after? Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That really helps to the watch time. I don't know if it's the heat or my allergies are acting up, bro, but I got this freaking headache that won't quit. It's probably the freaking heat, man. I need to drink some water. All I had was the coffee, and I'm kind of thirsty. Yeah, that final boss in Sekiro, I went to go face off against the Demon of Hatred, and I'm like, fuck this, dude. I got end credits. That's all I gave a shit about. Beating the game. We can go back and do the Demon of Hatred, and then I guess the other fight, which is the Owl Father, I'm being told. I thought I fought that guy, but apparently I didn't. So I fought some guy named the Owl, but I don't know who the hell he was. Well, I kicked his ass though. I struggled on that fight a little bit, but I think I got it on the second stream. Wasn't too bad. Nothing like that last boss fight, dude. We're fighting against Inshin, the sword saint, the Glock saint, the guy that pulls out a gun right in the middle of the fight for no freaking reason. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that fight sucked. Heat and eye strain help the headache suck more. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I don't think my eyes would be straining as much as if I clean my freaking glasses, dude. Yeah, honestly, dude, I really wouldn't mind the hours because I just called them back and they're like, yeah, okay, if we could just get you on standby mode just in case we need you for later tonight. It's this site. They're not gonna pull me to a site that I normally don't work at. It's gonna be at the site I'm always at. So I mean, I could use the hours honestly, but I'm kind of hoping they don't call me, bro. Kind of hoping they don't call me. It is what it is, though, man. Whatever. At least I'll have tomorrow off, hopefully. It's been a while since they've called me to go cover, so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they won't need it. It's something about some guy that needed to go to a doctor's, and they're waiting to see if the, you know, whatever the results his, you know, so they're gonna pull the guy from my site tonight and put him at that other guy's site, and then they'll use me to cover, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it's still up in the air, 50-50 whether they're gonna call me in for tonight or not. So I don't know. We're 3 o'clock. I still gotta go cash my check. We're at 3 hours and 40 minutes, man. So we're gonna start winding this down, guys. I'd like to stay and chat. That was the plan, is to stay and go over my time and chit chat a little bit. But like I said, I still got to go and cash my check and maybe get a little rest before I have to go into work tonight. If not, then maybe Fumbles and I can watch a movie with the kids or something, you know, and I can use tomorrow to play with the boys. Some Warzone or Gray Zone or Star Citizen or what is that other one that Cat got me into? I can't remember. It's that goofy game. Lockdown Protocol, I think it's called. This should be fun. Whatever, man. Work is work, right? No, actually, Devontae, I think it might be allergies. Right? Getting a little tickle in the back of my throat. I guess maybe I should go get some water. If I had glasses or the need, but I'm almost 50 now. My eyes are going to crap super fast. Need an eye exam. Glasses won't help. I'm just doing. You're blind. That's what happens when you get older, man. Shit starts to crap out on you. Let me grab a little bit of water, dude. I won't put you guys on AFK. I'm just gonna grab some water real quick. Take my coffee cup to the sink. I finished it. And then we'll kind of touch base on Elden Ring a little bit and Sekiro, and then we'll go ahead and finish off the stream. But I'll tell you what, Doug. I honestly didn't think I was going to make it through that boss fight, dude. I just did not have the confidence, man. Because it just felt like no matter how hard I tried, he kept kicking my ass, dude. He just kept belting my ass, man. I couldn't make any progress in that fight. And then just out of nowhere, I got to phase 4. And I just kept laying on his ass, dude, and just deflecting his attacks. Boom, boom. It just kept in his face, man, just pushing him and pushing him and pushing him, dude. And finally, man, I got the victory, dude. And it was just a big shock to me, man. I don't know if you saw my reaction, but it was just like, what the hell just happened? It was amazing, dude. That was a badass fight. It was hard. It was a very hard fight, and getting through it with the demon bell turned on, knowing that the demon bell makes it extremely hard, like it ups the difficulty a lot, not just a little bit, a lot. Is seeing living through that fight and beating it, and then watching other streamers do the same fight but not with the same difficulty. It's night and day, bro. It's comparing or apples and oranges, man. There's no comparison, bro. Fighting that last boss with the demon bell turned on is fighting that fucker in God mode, bro. It was that difficult, man. It was hard because his posture meter would fill very slowly, dude. Very slowly, and the amount of damage that I was doing to him with each hit was so small compared to the other streamers that I've seen fight that boss, to where you see them get a hit in and it like chunks his health pretty good, or it like puts a big chunk on the posture meter. And to seeing what I was doing to him compared to what other people were doing to him on the easier side of it, it was like, oh my god, man. And my stubborn ass, I did not want to turn off the difficulty, man. I didn't want to turn off the demon bell, so was that the one that made you so mad? Yeah, that fight. Yeah, Mom. That was the boss fight. Yep. The one that I was getting so enraged about. Yeah. That boss fight was, it was a complete shock that I beat it, man. I didn't think that attempt was going to be the one. It was difficult, but it was worth it. I feel like it made me a better player, because I turned around and went to go fight the demon of hatred, and everyone in chat, dude, every single person that made a comment about that demon of hatred said that they've cheesed that boss to get the win. You know what I mean? To get the victory. Cheesing mean that they cheated and they made the demon fall off the edge or whatever. Or they did whatever they had to do to get the fight. And I stood there and I fought that son of a bitch, and I got to phase 2 fighting him. And I was like, that's it, dude. I'm done. I know I'm good, bro. I know I'm good. I'm that good. I don't toot my bell very often, bro. I don't blow up my own head very often, but I knew that if I could kill that instant sword bastard, the sword saint, whatever you want to call him. I know that if I could get through him, I could get through any boss, dude. And that's why I decided to go try the demon of hatred. And when I got to phase 2, I was like, I'm done, bro. I'm good. I don't need to prove anything, bro. I know where my skill set is, dude. I know what I'm capable of. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm good. We got end credits for the game. That's it. I'm finished. But moving on to Elden Ring. Can I just say what an amazing game that is? I would love to play through Elden Ring again. That would be great. It really would. Yeah, Rule. Action Murder Fest game. Thank you, man. Thank you. I try, dude. I really do, man. I tell you guys that I'm gonna do it, and I get my mind set on it, bro, and I see it through, bro. I felt bad for rage quitting in Dark Souls the first attempt, and then Dark Souls 3 my first attempt. But, you know, I just had to learn, bro. I just had to learn the games, you know, and going back and beating those games, it felt awesome, dude. It really did, and I would love to do it again, and I will do it again. The only gripe I have with ER is the fake second phase bosses. Yeah. I struggled with the what's his name, the grafted fuck in the first castle that you fight him in. Have you know after you go through the castle gates and you fight that one giant and there's all those mobs and shit, and then you continue on and you get up to the main gate and you get in and you fight that one bastard with, he's like grafted or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? I struggled with that guy for a little bit. Like that was a pinch point for me. Once I got through him, the game, it seemed like it eased up a little bit. I didn't get stuck on too many spots or too many boss fights here and there. And yeah, Elden Ring was a good game. And the grafted scion, there you go. That's the same boss fight that you start the game with, right? You start the game, you spawn in, you get through. Grafted scion is that fucker that you fight right in the bat where you're supposed to lose, right? Apparently if you win that fight, dude, you get his weapon and his shield. I don't know if I could right out the gate. I don't know, dude. That would be a tough fight. Cuz you're level 1, you know? Like you got nothing. Your hits don't do shit. Your sword doesn't do shit. I guess you could parry him, but don't you need the Ash of War to parry? In Elden Ring, you can't just right out the gate parry someone unless the shield actually has that Ash of War on it. Yeah, I don't know. The shield and sword suck. You've done it before. I mean that, but you do get a lot of ruins right out the gate. So when you get to that first, you know, you get through the tutorial area, the cave and all that, and you pop out the other end, and you know it spits you out into the open world right off the bat. You get that first grace right there, and what was like 3,000 ruins. I think the video said 3,000 ruins, man, to just dump it wherever you want. HP, stamina, strength, whatever. That's kind of nice. Get a couple extra levels in. Not bad. Some of the NPC stuff was tedious to get through. You have to go talk to this guy and talk to that guy. The one thing that comes to mind, which I guess I didn't do or messed up or whatever, was that one guy that was in the lakes area where the fuck, what was the name of that place, man? He's like a rude son of a bitch. I think he's bald. He kind of looks like Patches. I don't remember exactly, but he's kind of like by some ruins, and I think he's just a merchant or somebody. But you have to do something before you can talk to that guy, and if not, he shrugs you off or whatever. He's kind of rude about it. And I have no idea what I did wrong or didn't do in that situation, but I couldn't interact with that guy. Rykard, Melania, Radagon, Alden Beast, Consort Redan are the only bosses that had legit phase 2s that I can think of. Yeah. Bogart the crab merchant? I guess so, yeah. I think so. Yeah, he's in that lake area or whatever. Yeah, that was... I didn't know what the hell to do, man. I was... I'm trying to remember. Someone was like, yeah, go back over there and there's a dude that you can talk to or whatever, and he has some item or something that I was supposed to get from him or something, bro. I don't remember. I couldn't interact with him. He kept telling me to piss off. He was rude about it too. Gotta talk to Raya first, then tells you Bogart stole her necklace. See, and I had no idea, you know. And then there was some chick or some woman or something that I had to talk to before I went to Volcano Manor, right? And she like helps you get there easier, quicker. There's like a shortcut to get to Volcano Manor that you use with that NPC. And that was another one that I had no idea what the hell I was doing, bro. So it might actually be worth it to go back and watch a video of these NPCs that you have to talk to and like get through their dialogue or whatever you have to do. Because I feel like I missed a lot of stuff in Elden Ring, dude. I missed a lot of stuff in Elden Ring. And I'm pretty sure I might have missed some boss fights as well. I'm not 100% sure on it, but what is there, like 200 and something bosses or something in Elden Ring? I don't think I hit 200 something bosses in, 30 streams? I don't know. Once you talk to her, you can confront Bogart about the necklace and buy it for 1,000 runes. Then he unlocks your shop. Oh. Rhea's the same lady. She's tied with the Bogart. Is it the same chick that you give the eyeballs to? The grapes? You give her the grapes? Is that the same chick, or am I thinking of someone else? She's tied with Bogart and oh yeah, okay, so yeah, Volcano Manor. So it is the same chick, isn't it? Once you use a medallion for the grand lift rolled, she's waiting up there and will teleport you to Volcano Manor. See, somebody in chat was trying to explain that to me, and I had no idea what the hell they were talking about, dude. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, whatever, bro. It doesn't. I was like, and I kept saying it over and over again. If I don't do all the quest lines, bro, who gives a shit? Like, who cares? I don't care. And at that point, I was kind of like annoyed. Like, I've never played this before, and I understand. I appreciate you guys trying to explain it to me, but it's not that fucking important, bro. You know what I mean? And I kind of ran through a lot of that game, and I did miss some stuff. I did. But oh, it's a different lady? Okay. Yeah. Shirabi, is that how you say it? The grape lady. Yeah, when I found out that those were eyeballs and not actual grapes, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. Oh shit. That's crazy, bro. My blood sugar's actually dropping, dude. I need to actually eat some food, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. It was a fun stream, bro. It was great. We haven't done this in a while, and I really enjoy it. Glad you catch the end. Hell yeah, Devante. Thanks for popping in, man. Good to see you. You're taking care of yourself and feeling better. You just got to fight the heat, man. It was a fun stream, Fumbles. Thank you. Yeah. We got to figure out what we're going to do on Wednesday, man. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, dude. See, I'm telling you, bro. These just chatting streams are freaking awesome. We kind of trailed off here and there, but I had my card to keep us on topic, and it was a great conversation we had, man. I really appreciate everyone hanging out, smashing the like button. 11 likes on a just chatting stream, bro. Dude, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you guys. To my channel members, thank you all so much for supporting what I do here. I really appreciate it. To all my lurkers in the background, you unspoken warriors, thank you all so much for being a part of today's broadcast. Thank you for lurking. If you're new to the channel, please do me a favor and subscribe. There's much more content to come up, man. You know, you don't want to miss out on it, so make sure to turn on notifications. To all my new subscribers, salute to you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for that call to action, Mom. I really appreciate it. And Mom, thank you so much for dropping in. I know you kind of came in on the end, and I know you're busy too, but I really appreciate you hanging on and being a channel member, Mom. Really appreciate your support. Fumbles, same thing. To all my channel members, really, thank you so much. I have my end card at the end of the stream. If your name comes up, 07. Really appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. Enjoy your Tuesday, and we'll see you guys back Wednesday for I don't know what, bro. We'll do something. But you guys take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you guys back on the next one. Love ya. Bye. Bye. Love you. Bye. Mwah.